Hello, everybody. How are we doing this evening? This evening. Hello, hello. And welcome to my channel, first of all. If you've stumbled across me, thank you for clicking on my face. I hope I will entertain you well enough to perhaps earn a subscription points. Would we? Welcome to the very first episode of Lynn Reid for Dummies. Deep dive into the Gorl World lore. Now, there are a lot of Lynn Reid reaction channels and content creators out there. I follow many of them. I have been following Lynn Reid content for about 5 years now. Originating from her actual channel that came across my feed one day. And it has been probably one of the longest running rabbit holes that I've ever been down. Just a part for the course. Like, never been down a rabbit hole for so long. It just never ends. It just never ends. It's really quite fascinating. So, if you are new to the Gorl World community, you've just recently stumbled across the world of the Gorls, particularly Lynn Reid, and you find yourself thinking, goodness gracious, this is a lot. Or, you know, you're watching maybe some reaction channels and you're thinking to yourself, God damn, like, what the fuck is going on here? Who's this? Who's that? What are you talking about? What's this? Because there is a lot. Lynn Reid has been making content on YouTube, I think at this point for like 12 or 13 years now. So there is a lot to cover, literally hundreds and hundreds of hours of content of just Lynn Reid on her channel, not even including the thousands of hours of content that's out there from content creators who make content about Gorl World, like Mr. Snowflake, for example, or other reaction channels. Some of my favorites include Salty Crab, Oh Lordy, It's Jordy, Apathetic Facts, Irked Content, Waddle. Those are some of my favorite ALR content reaction channels, and etc., etc., etc. But I specifically wanted to do like a I'm new to Lynn Reid and don't know what the fuck to do. I'm so overwhelmed, and that's what we're doing. Like, imagine that you are like sitting on the front porch with your bestie sipping iced tea or wine or something, and I was like, girl, have you heard of Lynn Reid? She's messy as fuck. And you were like, oh my god, I've heard of her, but I don't know anything. Like, tell me, sis. That's the vibe. That's the vibe. Okay, so with that being said, we are going to be choosing like eras or topics to kind of like get you familiar with the cast, the cast history, familiar with names and you know, classic moments of Lynn Reid history that are still like widely talked about and referenced to today. I mean, there have been so many memes made about Lynn Reid, it's not even funny. So with that being said, due to the current goings on in the world of Lynn Reid, I thought that it would be best to start with explaining Lynn Reid's past relationships up until this point, getting you familiar with that cast, because Lynn Reid's relationships, her like romantic relationships, are one of the like main sources of side characters in the world of the Gorl. So without any more ado, we are going to be referencing to this video compilation called Lynn Reid's Relationship Cycle 13 Years of Toxic Tears by the creator Waddle. And Waddle is one of those content creators that just kind of like compiles footage together, and doesn't give much commentary, so it's kind of perfect for this exact type of, you know, content or whatever. So, don't worry, sis. I'm gonna get you up to date, and we are starting with Lynn Reid's past relationship, including discussions of her like love style and basically anything that I have things to say, I will be saying them, right? I want to however, make a disclaimer from the very beginning that I'm not here to bully Amberlyn Reid. I know that Amberlyn Reid tends to want to say that people who are criticizing her are quote unquote bullying her. But I'm just here to tell it like it is. And I have no problem being one of those people that's like, let's just be so fucking for real here right now. Okay? Not only that, but I also want to kind of establish from the very beginning that I am a plus size person myself. So I do have a lot of like personal experience and insight into the world of being a plus size person in a society where it's not really socially acceptable and it's kind of like a taboo thing to be like plus size or overweight and stuff like that. So I have personal insight into the experience of being someone who's not like quote unquote conventionally attractive. I'm not saying I'm ugly because I'm not. I feel like fucking Ghost and Soap in Call of Duty where he's like, the mask, take it off. No, not gonna happen. He's like, are you ugly? Quite the opposite. That's kind of how I feel, but like I am a plus size person. Anyways, I'm rambling. Let's get into it. Okay.
I'm actually starving.
You ain't starved. Ain't nothing about you starved.
You ain't starved.
So much better than majority of you.
Hello.
I will never copyright a reaction channel. I will never, ever strike down a compilation of me because I don't care.
Me and Amber broke up in 2011.
Okay, so right off of the bat, this is Amberlyn Reid's very first recorded significant other. This person goes by the name Casey. Their pronouns are, I believe, they, him, he. And just to give you right off the bat a little bit of insight into the type of person that Amberlyn Reid is, let me just explain something. This is Amberlyn Reid's first ever relationship. I believe when they dated, Casey was 15 or 16 and Amberlyn was, I believe, 17. And Amberlyn lived with Casey and their family for a few years until I believe she was kicked out because of differences and combativeness between Amberlyn and Casey's mother. Okay, just making that clear. And Amberlyn Reid has a really nasty habit of dead naming and dead gendering Casey here. And in case you're confused about that, Amberlyn Reid is a lesbian. So just kind of like use context clues to fill in the blanks here. So Amberlyn Reid has a really nasty habit of continuously dead naming and dead gendering Casey in videos in the beginning of when she would talk about Casey, when like shit kind of hit the fan and people found out the tea, you know what I mean? And the justification that she gives for dead naming and dead gendering Casey is that, oh well, when she would use their dead name and their dead genders, but I'm not going to do that. Oh well, when Casey and I were together, they were this gender and they were called by this name. So that's how I know them. Like that's how I knew them from like when we were together and stuff like that. So like in my mind, it's okay to call them by their dead name and their dead gender because I almost kind of like think of them as being two completely different people. There was Casey when we were together and their name was this and their gender was this, and then there's Casey now who is different. So they're like two different people. So it's totally fine if I call them by the wrong name and the wrong gender. Like, first of all, it absolutely is not acceptable, but whatever. So this is Casey, Amberlyn Reid's very first relationship in recorded ALR history.
She made out with a girl while we were dating 3 times. I was dumb. I admit that fully. Being with her as long as I was so dumb. So dumb. let me clear up some things for you.
First of all, Casey, you don't need to feel bad about feeling like you were dumb or an idiot or whatever for getting with Amberlyn and staying with Amberlyn as long as you did, because you have to remember, Casey, you were literally a child. Like, you were literally a child. You were a child, you were naive, you were innocent. You had no way of knowing that what was going to happen was going to happen, let alone, honestly, like, when you're that young, you're naive. Like, you don't have any experience, a lot of experience with, like, the real world and people being shitty out in the real world for you to kind of know what red flags to look out for. So it's fucked up, but at the same time, like, if it was going to happen, it was going to happen, because you literally didn't have like the experience or like the life skills or the street smarts to like know what to look out for at the time. You know, we've all been there. We've all been there.
Between that time frame.
What? What did I just do to you?
Before
That was, I believe, Dana. Who you just saw was Dana.
Crystal, there was another girl.
I could be wrong though.
Another girl. Her name was Paige or something.
Oh no, that was Crystal. Okay.
I forgot why her and Paige broke up. Not really broke up, but like stopped talking. I think Paige got tired, honestly. And then she met Crystal.
I feel like I'm gonna be like.
There's no footage of Paige that we have ever seen. We saw Casey and Crystal, and then the relationships after that. This to the right is Crystal.
Laughing a lot in this video. Because here's Crystal.
Now, she was talking to Crystal about 6 or 7 months before we broke up. No, actually, probably longer than that.
So basically, Amberlyn Reid was cheating on Casey with Crystal, at least emotionally. I think that, and you'll see this history repeat itself, Amberlyn Reid cannot be without a relationship. So if Amberlyn Reid started to feel, in my opinion, if Amberlyn Reid started to feel like her relationship with Casey was starting to deteriorate, she probably went ahead and just went on the hunt for a potential new girlfriend to take over after her and Casey inevitably broke up. Because Amberlyn Reid doesn't want to take accountability for the wrongdoings in her relationship. It's always their fault and something that was done to her, and she always tries to justify her own shitty behavior, quite frankly.
And Crystal bought her so many things when we were together. The one that stands out, because it's the most messed up one, most messed up memory, was the freaking iPod Touch. She was on the phone with her, and like there was an argument starting. I'm just like, what? Like, what the hell's wrong? So she goes outside talking to her. Comes in. Oh, I made her cry. What happened? What made her cry? What the hell? And she was telling me how Crystal was gonna buy her an iPod Touch. And the argument was over how much gigabytes it had. She went off on this poor girl and made her cry because Crystal asked a simple question: do you want this X amount of gigs or the highest one? And Amber was so disrespectful about it. Crystal cried. I don't know why she felt the need to message me that her and Crystal broke up.
About a month ago, I was having some troubles in my relationship. I keep about 99% of my life private, and the other...
First of all, that's entirely untrue. Amberlyn Reid probably keeps maybe like 60 to 70% of her life private. She will do this thing a lot where she will kind of go back and forth between like how much she wants to reveal about her private life, but ultimately she knows that her private life is what people want to know about. And like, as a person who creates content on the internet, you absolutely have every right to keep whatever you want to keep private, But Amber Lynn is not consistent with wanting to keep things private in her life. She'll come on one day and say, like, oh, and here's another thing. I'm sorry, I'm ADHD. I'm just gonna get that out of the way now. She will like throw out little Easter eggs about her quote unquote like private life matters and kind of like tease about them, knowing that like her audience is gonna be like, give me more, give me more, give me more. And like she knows that that's gonna like hook them. But then she'll turn around and be like, but I'm not gonna talk about that. Like she'll come on here and be like, I went to the emergency room today and, you know, I was crying a lot earlier and I'm really scared and, you know, it's super duper stressful and da 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 da. But I don't really want to talk about that. Then why did you say it? Like, why did you bring it up if it was something that you didn't? Like, you very easily could have just, like, not said anything about going to the ER, not said anything about having the experience at the ER make you want to cry because you were so upset and stressed out about it. And then when you do something like that, of course, your audience is going to speculate about it. Reaction channels are going to speculate about it, but then she'll come on here and say, this is why I don't want to tell you anything about my private life because you guys want to speculate and like make stuff up and like, you know, make it into a thing that's bigger than it is. Well, then don't say anything about it. You don't want people to speculate, Amber? Don't say anything about it.
The 1% I do like end up telling you. Crystal and I were having like a little issue. We were trying to work it out for about 2 weeks. We didn't tell anybody. We just kept everything private completely. And on April 1st, things kind of just, everything kind of blew up into smoke. We decided to break up. I made a video on April 3rd.
Also,
2 days after.
I just have to say real quick, this thing she's doing with the blanket right now, total fat girl move. And I know because I've done it myself, like on days where I'm just like not feeling myself and not feeling my body. And like I don't, like more than anything else in the world on those days, I do not want my body to be perceived for even a fucking moment. And so this is something that like I do this too, where like I will just like cover myself with a blanket, like literally from the fucking chin down, because if you look at literally 1 inch of my body below the fucking neck, bro, I will literally pass away. I know exactly what you're doing here, girl. You're trying to hide the goods. I get it.
The breakup, I literally cried the whole video. It was 14 minutes long.
I cried the whole video. Feel bad for me. I'm the victim. She does this a lot where she'll try to like, she tries to like jump out in front of any drama and make it seem like she's the victim. It's literally the same vibe as like, let's say that there's like a couple and they have a toxic relationship or whatever, and like one of them will do something shitty to the other person, but maybe like they share a friend group or whatever, and so the person who like did the shitty thing knows that they need to jump out in front of the situation and go tell all of their friends that like, oh, they did this to me, and then this happened, because they want to like shape the narrative and manipulate the narrative and make it seem like they are the victim in this situation by jumping out in front of it. And she does this a lot.
I cried the whole video. I was literally a mess.
All of this is my opinion, by the way. I just want to make that so clear again. Like, this is all my opinion and allegedly, in my opinion.
Because I never felt so heartbroken in my life. Because I love Crystal more.
She does this with every girlfriend, by the way, just so that you know. Like, literally every girlfriend is the most amazing person she's ever met, the most kind and generous person she's ever met, the other half of her heart. You know, she just love bombs the absolute shit out of every single relationship she ever has. And they're all like the one, you know, they're all the one. When you just know, you know. She'll say that a lot. When you know, you know, you know. She does that a lot.
More than I have ever loved anybody in my whole life.
I loved them so much and they broke up with me because they're an asshole and I am a victim. It's giving victim.
This is when things got really bad.
I get a random message from her one day after her and Crystal broke up.
How did you meet your new?
Hold on, wait, I want to read this. I know this is from Lynn Reid on social media. I know this is probably weird, but I really need to talk about this. So you're still the only person I've let touch me. Okay, so this is a message to Casey, I believe. I never even let Crystal, even after all the time we were together. I was too scared, too self conscious, etc. I mean, I know the vibe. I know the vibe. I really want Destiny, the girl I'm going to be with, shut up. So she's already talking about hopping from Crystal. So she's talking about hopping from Crystal to Destiny because Crystal and her broke up, right? And she's like, again, this is her like jumping out in front of things. And like, again, it's like super weird that she decided to go message her ex that she literally, in my opinion, emotionally cheated on them with Crystal in the first place. Like, and they're the one you want to reach out to. But whatever. I really want Destiny, who would be her next girlfriend, the girl I'm going to be with, to be the next person I allowed to do that to me. I'm scared though. Like, what do I do? I feel like I smelt bad when you did it to me. Yikes. Honestly, I know the fear. I literally know the fear being a plus size person myself. I literally will not engage in any type of like activities unless I'm freshly showered. Like, I get it. I get it. Like, let's just be so fucking for real here. If you're like plus size and your thighs touch, you know what I mean? You know the vibe. You know the vibe.
Girlfriend.
I shower every day now, so I'm different than I used to be. So what are you insinuating that like when you were with, like she's literally like telling on herself that when she was with Casey, she wasn't showering every day. And Casey does end up spilling the beans about this in this tell-all series that they did on their YouTube. Does end up spilling the beans about that and saying that like Lynn Reid only showered like when she started to be so funky that Casey's mom would confront her about it and be like, "You smell nasty. You literally need to take a shower." Again, I know this is so weird. You're the first person I trust to talk to about this, though. Actually, the only person, which probably was a lie too, but like, whatever. In my opinion, Lynn Reid is a, what's the word? A, not, well, narcissist, yes, but not chronological. They are they lie all the time. Pathological. There we go. She's a pathological liar, in my opinion. I am not a doctor or professional. I'm not able to diagnose anybody with anything. However, I do have hyperfixation and special interest in mental illness as somebody who's mentally ill themselves. Um, it's literally a hobby of mine to study mental illness and like the brain and how people think and stuff like that. So I'm just saying, from my own interest in the subject, I think she's a pathological liar.
She's not my girlfriend. She wants to ask me in person. Like, isn't that the cutest thing ever? Her name is Destiny. Crystal downloaded the like chat app when we broke up. I kind of did it just because she was doing it. I didn't really care about things like that. I was more so just like mourning our breakup. I talked to a lot of people in there. Everyone was really just boring, stupid, or perverted. And Destiny sent me a message, and we got along really well. We became friends, and I don't know what happened. Like, we just formed a really, really strong connection.
This is another thing that Lynn Reid does consistently, which is very, in my opinion, unhealthy and alarming, is that all of her significant others are people that she met on social media. Now, I know that like internet dating is a thing, or online dating apps, meeting people on social media. I know that that is a thing that happens, and sometimes it works out great, but those success stories, in my opinion, are exceptions to the rule that you shouldn't like necessarily trust people you meet online, because they can literally pretend to be anybody in the whole world, and like everybody only puts their, not everybody, but most people only put their best foot forward on their social medias and on the internet, even in like dating apps and stuff like that. So it's just really kind of alarming, that potentially problematic for her and unsafe for her, that all of her relationships are people that she found online, and she also falls in love literally immediately. And again, this is something that I can understand, especially as being someone who got bullied a lot throughout their childhood, teen years, and young adult life, getting bullied a lot, especially by like males and men, it really fucks with your self esteem, and it puts you in this place where you are so starved for like positive attention that the smallest morsel of like kindness or romance or positive attention that anybody gives you, you cling on to that in a vice grip. Like the jaws of life would be needed to pry you away from them. And it's literally, in my opinion, it's a trauma response. It's like a trauma bond that you form with somebody because you're very vulnerable and susceptible to being manipulated whenever you are so desperate for love and positive attention that you will just cling to anybody who tells you that you're pretty. And I actually ended up back in the MySpace days. I ended up in like literally a 4 year long catfish relationship with somebody, literally just because they messaged me on on MySpace and told me that they thought that I was pretty, because I was bullied heavily in high school, which was when this happened, and I had been bullied like all throughout school up until that point. You know what I'm saying? So like I got bullied and like picked on, and people were cruel to me so much in my real life that the very first person who ever reached out to me and was like, I think you're so beautiful and I think I have a crush on you, it made me feel like my existence was not going to be fraught with loneliness and just people who made me feel like I was disgusting all the time. It made me feel like it was okay for me to be the way that I was and look the way that I did. Even it's crazy though, because like I look back on pictures of myself from high school, I was like, I was tiny. Like, why the fuck were people so nasty to me? But anyways, yeah, like you're very vulnerable to like instant romantic feelings with a person whenever you're so used to being treated like shit. You know what I mean?
And I'm so grateful for it.
And I tried to help her with Destiny, the whatever thing. Just
You're too nice, Casey.
said, hey, just be honest with Destiny, whatever. Be honest with her about how.
Hold on, what happened to my audio?
The whatever thing. Just said, hey, just be honest with Destiny, whatever. Be honest with her about how.
Oh, I think they're censoring something. Hold on. Something happened to the audio. Oh, here we go. Okay. What happened?
To me at my
Yeah, I'm so sorry about that. I don't know what happened to the audio in the video. Anyways, we'll pick it back up right here.
absolute all-time lowest. She has seen me at my worst. And somehow she still thought I was the most beautiful thing she's ever seen. I look like a crazy right now. But,
She comes online and she cries for sympathy all the time. Like, all the time. Because the reality of the situation is that, like, if you genuinely did not want to come on the internet and for people to see you cry, you wouldn't cry on the internet. Because it's not like she's on a live stream. You know what I mean? Like, if she was live streaming and started crying, like, you know, people are going to see it when you're like, nope, 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 and you're like trying to get yourself together and like stop crying or whatever. But like when you are literally making content, like vlog style content, etc., that you know you're going to edit it, and you know, start crying, but you don't want to be crying on the internet, you literally can like stop filming until you stop crying and then come back and finish, or you can edit out the crying or do a voiceover or something. But in my opinion, people who say like, oh, I'm so embarrassed, I don't want to cry on the internet, I don't want to cry on the internet, and you posted it and you knew that like you could have edited it out, in my opinion, you do want to cry on the internet and you want people to see it. And what do people cry for? for attention. Like, I'm not saying that, like, people only cry for attention. I'm literally not saying that. I'm saying, like, in this exact situation, when you're crying online, but you want to turn around and say, like, oh, I don't like to cry for attention, like, you literally should have edited it out then and done a take where you weren't crying once you got yourself together. You didn't edit it out, so in my opinion, you wanted people to see you crying because you wanted them to feel bad for you.
Why she broke up with me or what happened, that whole thing is very, like, up to destiny. But she broke up and
Also, I also want to point out that Amber Lynn never breaks up with her girlfriends. Her girlfriends always break up with her. Every single girlfriend that she's had, like, they are the ones to break up with her. And the reason that I think that this is, and you'll understand this more later as we continue to cover the subject of Amber Lynn Reid, she is never going to be the one to initiate a breakup because she falls so deeply in love, and in my opinion it's a trauma thing that she gets so attached to people so quickly. That's just my opinion. She would never break up with them because she doesn't want to be without love. She doesn't want to be without romance. One of the biggest things that I always say about Amber Lynn Reid is that Amber Lynn Reid is constantly trying to jump out in front of fat stereotypes. And let me explain what I mean. So, again, as a plus size / fat person myself, I'm just going to put forth some fat stereotypes that I have experienced and that I know about, that I know are accurate. If you don't know about these, trust me, they are real, and I think that these stereotypes are one of the reasons why Amber Lynn Reid lies so much. Okay, for example, there's the stereotype that nobody's attracted to fat people. So fat people, you just always, when you see someone who's plus size and fat or obese, like, you automatically assume, I'm not saying you, like, you do this, but, like, you as in, like, the people who like, fall into the behavior that creates the stereotype. But not the, I don't know how to explain this. Like, if you are somebody who, like, executes the giving end of these stereotypes on that demographic of people. Do you see what I'm saying? That's what I mean by you as an umbrella term. So people think that, you know, if you're fat or obese, like, you look at them and you automatically assume that they're not in a relationship, like, they're single because they're not stereotypically, or like society's acceptable level of attractive or thin or whatever, having a smaller body. So, like, I'm not attracted to them because of that. So so I'm just going to assume that they're single, right? And single and lonely with 17 cats or whatever the fuck kind of thing. There's also the stereotype that, like, fat people always smell bad. Like, you always stink. That's one that scares the shit out of me. Like, being a, like, having an odor. If you're fat or plus size, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. Yeah, that fat people stink, or that fat people don't take care of their hygiene in other ways, like their hair or da 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 da. That fat people are just constantly sitting around all day, literally stuffing their face with food non-stop, or eating huge portions, or they only eat unhealthy foods. Then there's the stereotype of, like, you know what I mean, that they're, like, extremely unhealthy, which, like, we're not going to open that can of worms right now. But you see what I'm saying? Like, there's all these stereotypes about fat people that when they pop up, I'll mention it. And Amber Lynn Reid seems to, I catch her all the time trying to, like, jump out in front of fat stereotypes and deny them, like, deny that she does that behavior. However, in my opinion, and like, my veteran knowledge of the topic of Amber Lynn Reid, in my opinion, Amber Lynn Reid is the embodiment of the fat stereotype. She checks off all the boxes, in my opinion, of, like, you give fat people a bad name. Like, you give fat and plus size people a bad name, because when people think about, like, the societal stereotypes of being an overweight or fat person, you embody all of them. And like people like Amberlynn Reid are the reason that these stereotypes exist. I'm just being so fucking for real right now.
It is so fucking, like, the most craziest concepts of the world is the fact that you as a person can have your whole future planned out, your whole, just everything so planned out, and you think you have everything going for you, and someone can just kind of rip that away from you and completely take that from you. And
is she oh, what is what? Sorry. What a still shot. Oh my god. I'm turning that into a meme. Anyways, is she referencing right now, she's talking about someone can come along and like rip your whole world out from under you. Is she literally talking about Crystal breaking up with her? Is she trying to insinuate that like Crystal was my whole world and she just ripped it all away from me? Well, quite frankly, at this point in Gorl World, all these years later, my first question is always, what did you do, Amber? What did you do? And you don't always want to like, when you want to see the best in people, you don't want to automatically think things like that. But if there's anything that I have learned when it comes to Amber and her, profanity toward lying. I forgot the word again. Hold on, I'm gonna grab it. Compulsive liar. Yeah. Her history of being a compulsive liar. There is literally, I think, at least 3 or 4 videos on Amberlynn's channel about how telling the truth about all the lies I've told, or coming clean about the lies I've told. Like, she's done this over and over and over again, okay? Anyways, yeah, my first thought whenever Amber comes on here with her crocodile tears that she could have edited out of her video even though she doesn't want to cry on the internet for attention and that's not why she does it, is that it's usually her own fault. Like, she did something. She did something, and it's usually not good.
I feel like that's what Destiny did. We had so much planned.
Oh, this is the Destiny breakup. You see what I'm saying? You can't even tell which girlfriend or ex she's talking about because she does the exact same behavior for every single one. It's literally like she has actual scripts called getting a new girlfriend and breaking when that girlfriend breaks up with me ... She has scripts for these events in her life and she like pulls them out and fucking reads from them and performs them every single time that event happens.
I am so in love with her still. And
she's always still in love with them and they're always gonna stay friends, and then they never do.
I want her to know that, like I've told her, that I will never give up. I will never give up on her. I have a girlfriend. I haven't mentioned it in a YouTube video, I don't think. Maybe I have. I don't even know. This is her.
So you don't even know if you've talked about this person in your YouTube videos yet, but you also say that you keep 90% of your life private. But you literally don't even know if you have or haven't talked about this thing because it's clearly not like a hard line of like, this is something I don't talk about. Do you see what I'm saying? How she's like wishy-washy? What's it called? She like seesaws back and forth between, I'm gonna do this, no I'm not. You'll see this behavior pattern like repeated over and over and over again.
She's nervous. Yes. Okay, let's do this.
So this is Destiny. Wait, is that Destiny? I'm tripping.
This is poor
Sometimes low-key, it's hard to keep track. I'm just telling you right now, it can be hard to keep track.
primer stick. So, hello. I'm engaged. So that is an actual situation. I Do you want to tell him?
Okay. I guess I'm gonna go ahead and just say it. We have broke up. It happened Sunday. And it was initiated by me.
Also, something that I've always wanted to say about this video, this was a live stream, by the way. First of all, the fact that you had this dramatic ass event happen in your life, you were broken up with, you're still living together. Destiny and Amber Lynn did lives together all throughout Amber Lynn and theirs relationship. And Destiny was like the main entertainment factor for Amberlynn Reid's live streams. When Amberlynn Reid live streams by herself, it's very boring. Pretty much her go-to source of like content creation for her live streams is just Q&A. Like whenever Amberlynn Reid needs filler content, she always goes to Q&As, and every time she goes live, it's a Q&A, and she picks and chooses and like cherry picks which questions she's going to answer in order to continue to like manipulate the narrative of her life. But it's just so weird to me that like y'all break up and a few days later Amberlynn's like, let's do a live stream to tell everybody about the breakup and like answer questions about the breakup and things like that. Like it's just so weird that you would put your business out there to that extent. You know what I mean? And like the way that she's like literally sitting here staring into the camera the whole time crying and has obviously been crying, it just screams, I'm the victim. See, I'm the victim. I'm the one crying, not them. I'm the one who's clearly been hurt. I'm the one that got broken up with. Like, feel bad for me.
But the fact of the matter is I've had a lot
Look
of
at her eyes.
time to
Victim,
think
victim, victim.
and reflect. And
Like she's literally sitting here like, listen to this, you guys. They're literally telling you how much they hurt me while I'm sitting right here. They're literally talking about how much they hurt me while I sit here and stare into the camera and give an Oscar-worthy performance of victimhood.
and we just want different things in life. You know, Amberlynn wants to leave Kentucky one day, and she wants to see her family. She wants to move to
I'm tired of being her caretaker.
another state, and it's like, this is my home, and this is where my family is, and I don't want to leave.
I think Destiny was really just looking for any like viable excuse to be able to break up with Amberlynn, to be completely honest with you. I think that Destiny was too nice. Was way too nice and kind of maybe has like people pleasing tendencies, which again, people pleaser, I get it. That she didn't want to like hurt Amberlynn. Like she didn't want to be mean to her by breaking up with her, and she knew that Amberlynn would freak the fuck out and act like she is like, you know, a victim, quite frankly, that she would cry victim to everybody. And she knows that Amberlynn Reid has a big social network platform, and how like all, you know, she could probably was thinking that she could very easily, like Amberlynn Reid could very easily like manipulate the situation and like get her like supporters to be on her side and like attack Destiny and stuff like that. Like that's the scary thing about being in a relationship with somebody who has like a huge like social media following. It's really scary because you think like, how can they weaponize that against me if shit doesn't go well? Like I'm all over the internet. They've put me all over the internet. You know what I mean? I just feel like it would be really stressful and like a difficult situation to navigate, especially if you, on top of all of that, are, you know, a people pleaser, in my opinion. And just generally like you're a good person, so like you don't want to like knowingly hurt somebody even at the detriment of your own well-being.
And but I love her. I love her.
And I do think that maybe they did, like, they did still really love her. You know, like, I definitely understand the feeling of, like, I love you as a person, you're really, you know, I, I have love for you, but it's not romantic anymore. You know what I mean? Like, I can definitely relate to that feeling. Especially, like, when you're, like, freshly broken up with somebody and you were so used to, like, being in a love type mentality and romantic relationship with somebody, it, unless like something really dramatic happens that ends it on like negative feelings that are like, you know, you got into a huge fight or something else like really dramatic or potentially traumatic happens to make you feel like, nope, fuck them, every ounce of love I've ever felt from them has been just transmuted into just rage and hate and anger and ick and disgust, then it can be really difficult for like your mind and like your spirit to transition from romantic feelings into platonic feelings or even a lack of feelings in general for somebody.
I love her. I don't care what anybody else thinks of her. I know who she is. And she has her faults. And I have my faults too.
I'm hurting. Talking to this girl has just...
I'm hurting. I'm hurting. I'm hurting. Just, I mean, do I even need to say anything about that? Like, it's literally giving, just in case the crocodile tears weren't enough, I'm hurting. I've been hurt by this person.
just made me realize like that's how you're supposed to feel when you like someone a lot. So yeah, I didn't feel that with Becky, and me and Becky have talked a lot about it recently.
Oh my god, have I been calling Becky Destiny this whole time? I bet some of you have just been screaming at me, bitch, that's Becky, not Destiny, that's Becky, not Destiny, that's Becky, not Destiny. I am so sorry. This is literally like an ongoing joke with my family, is that we do this with literally everybody. We can never get anybody's name straight, and quite frankly, please forgive me, because there have literally been so many girlfriends in such a short amount of time in Amber Lynn Reid's life that it genuinely is hard to keep track. I do believe that I have been calling Becky Destiny this whole time, and I'm really embarrassed, and just pretend I never did that, okay?
And we realized that we never had that.
I know you're not supposed to say you regret anything, but I do regret that relationship. Full-heartedly, immensely.
You guys ever watched one of my videos and you sat there and you're like, was this video hard for Amber Lynn to film? Probably not. I don't know.
Okay, let's see. Let's do this one. Amber Lynn Reid hopping into relationships right after breakup. For further explanation. This is also a video from the creator Waddle. Amber Lynn Reid hopping into relationships right after breakups like it's nothing.
99% of my life private, and the other 1% I do like end up telling you. I'm actually starving.
You ain't starved. Ain't nothing about you starved.
I'm so much better than majority of you.
Hello.
I will never copyright a reaction channel. I will never, ever strike down a compilation of me because I don't care.
Okay, that's Crystal. Crystal was after
Today
Casey.
is April 13th.
And Amber Lynn, allegedly, in my opinion, was emotionally cheating on Casey with Crystal up to approximately 7 months before Amber Lynn and Casey broke up.
Crystal and I were having like a little issue. We were trying to work it out for about 2 weeks. We didn't tell anybody. We just kept everything private completely. We decided to break up. I was literally a mess. I never felt so heartbroken in my life. Because I love
So this is
Crystal
similar to what we just
more
watched, so I'm going to skip ahead a little bit.
I think
We already talked about this exact scene.
there is not a deeper reason. That is purely to be with someone who will break up with you. She broke up with. Tell her how much I love
Sorry.
her.
Okay.
And I wish, like, I could, but I can't.
Why did Crystal break up with you? She broke up with me because she thought she fell out of love with me. The breakup was very two-way.
She thought she fell out of love with me? Like, are you insinuating that, like, she actually was still in love with you afterward? Like, what the fuck?
I didn't want to be with someone who wasn't happy in a relationship, so we both agreed upon it. People don't.
She's gonna sit here and say that, like, oh, it was mutual, again, because you're trying to, like, manipulate the narrative that, like, I didn't get broken up with. And this is an example, in my opinion, and maybe this is just, like, my trauma speaking, but, like, this is one of those examples of what I was talking about earlier, where Amberlynn Reid likes to jump out in front of potentially being labeled under a plus-size fat stereotype. Specifically in this situation, the stereotype that, like, people who are fat or obese clearly don't have romance in their life, because how could they, right? That's the stereotype. Like, who would want to be with them, you know? And so I feel like that stereotype can also kind of umbrella cover the idea of, like, if fat people do find someone to be in a relationship with them, God forbid, that it's inevitable that they'll get broken up with. Because, again, like, they're fat. Like, nobody wants to be with them. Ew. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's just the way that, like, I've experienced that stereotype. Like, no one's ever going to want to be in a relationship with you. And if they do get into a relationship with you, like, it's inevitable that they're eventually going to break up with you because, I don't know, like, they found someone, like, skinnier or prettier or whatever. You know what I mean?
Don't just fall out of love. There is not a deeper reason. That is purely the
By the way, I just want to make it clear, like, that is based in my own fears and experiences as well.
reason she didn't feel like she was happy anymore, and she didn't feel like she was in love with me anymore. Is Crystal showing any signs of sadness that you're moving away from her? Yes, a lot of signs of sadness. But so am I, because it's a hard change. Crystal and I were together 24/7 for almost 4 years. It's almost like I'm being ripped from her life. How did you meet your new girlfriend? She's not my girl.
It's almost as if I'm being ripped from her life. Like, she chose... She's saying that the breakup was mutual, but then refers to the feeling as if she's being ripped from her life. If it was mutual, y'all both decided to break up. Like, I can understand, like, again, like I was saying earlier, the potential difficulty, like, emotionally transitioning from a romantic relationship with someone to a relationship that's platonic or otherwise non-existent. But you see what I'm saying? Like, the dots are not aligning. I don't know if that makes any sense. I'm sorry.
Girlfriend, she wants to ask me in person. Like, is that the cute?
Okay, so then after Crystal was Destiny. This is Destiny. I'm so sorry. And then I'm pretty sure it went Destiny, then Becky, then back to Destiny, if I'm not mistaken.
This thing ever. Her name is Destiny. Crystal downloaded these, like, chat apps when we broke up. I kind of did it just because she was doing it. I didn't really care about things like that.
Oh my god, this is another thing. Okay, I'm sorry I keep pausing, but, like, again, like, I'm trying to spill the tea and make sure you have all the information, okay? So this is another thing that she does that I've noticed that I don't really see people talking about very much, which is that Amberlynn Reid I think another reason why Amberlynn Reid is always so quick to jump from one relationship to the next has a lot to do with when her exes get into relationships again. She feels like if one of her like if her ex gets into a relationship, she also has to be in a relationship. Excuse me one moment. Sorry, I was coughing. Yeah, because like if Amberlynn Reid's like girlfriend breaks up with her and then they get into a relationship, I think she feels like it makes her look like sad or like pathetic or something. That like, oh, they've moved on from you and found someone else. So like she also has to find someone else. So that way she can say, well, like, I don't care that they're in a relationship and happy because I'm also happy in a relationship. Like she constantly feels this need to like put other people in their place, and like nobody else can be doing better than her. Like she has to be doing just as good as they are or better, but she can never like she never wants to feel like in the hierarchy she is beneath anybody. So she jumps out in front of it.
And I was more so just like mourning our breakup. I talked to a lot of people in there. Everyone was really just boring.
So she's like, if Crystal's talking to somebody, then I'm also gonna try to find somebody to talk to, like just to spite her, you know? Because again, like the reality is that Crystal broke up with her. And in my opinion, it was not mutual because we've established that Amberlynn Reid doesn't do the breaking up. Because Amberlynn Reid will literally have her claws sunk into somebody literally as long as they will stay. As long as they will stay. And if she had it her way, every single one of them would have gotten hitched with her and in her opinion, like been stuck with her. Like, you married me, so like you're fucking stuck with me till death do us part. You know what I mean?
Stupid or perverted. And Destiny sent me a message and we got along really well. We became friends and I don't know what happened. Like we just formed a really, really strong connection. I'm so grateful for it. Destiny and I are getting our own place. It's just gonna be me and her. We're gonna have to pay our own bills, buy our own food. This is something neither of us has ever done before. My whole life I've relied.
So she's saying that basically when her and Crystal broke up, Crystal started getting on like the fucking chat roulettes or the dating apps or something like that. And Amberlynn got jealous, so she said, fuck you, I'm gonna do the same thing. Because fine, you want to move on? Fine, I'll move on too. I'll show you. And so she got on the dating apps or the chat roulettes or whatever the fuck she went on, and she found Destiny through these social medias or whatever. And literally, like, true lesbian stereotype, they're getting the U-Haul ASAP. Which, again, I'm a member of the LGBTQ community, so don't come for me.
On other people, especially being in foster care. That is how I grew up. I'm used to other people taking care of me, and now it's finally my turn to take care of myself. Where are you moving?
I feel like that's a very profound statement that I've actually never heard before. She says, I grew up in foster care, which is not untrue. She did grow up in foster care from the age of, I think she says the age of like 10 or 12 till she was 18, basically. Or 17, she was in foster care. I think she went from foster care to Crystal. Or not Crystal, Casey. Either that or I think she might have gone from foster care to her aunt, long lost aunt, to Casey. But she was in foster care until she was a teenager.
I'm going to be moving to Florida. When are you moving? July 2nd.
Oh, but what I was going to say was that it's a profound statement that she says, growing up in foster care, I'm used to other people taking care of me. You see what I'm saying? Because something that you will see with, like, Amberlynn Reid's significant others, it's literally like a running joke at this point that all of the new girlfriends are called, like, wipies. And that, whether or not I agree with it or think it's mean or not, when people say wifey, they're kind of referring to the caretaker kind of title. People will say that the girlfriends are new caretakers. They will say that they're wifeys. Then they have turned that into wipies, as in like, you wipe me, like my caretaker. That's literally the running joke that people call all of Amberlynn Reid's relationships, because that's kind of what ends up happening in all of her relationships, is that she doesn't want to do anything. She wants to be treated like a princess, like all time, like passenger princess, but like life, You know what I mean? She wants everyone, she wants you to cook for her. She'll do the cooking because she says she's like weird and quirky and picky about cooking. But she doesn't want to have to clean anything, including herself and her laundry, allegedly, in my opinion. And she doesn't want to have to lift a finger. Like, she wants you to fetch everything for her. Like, she wants you to do all the hard stuff. Like, if you're in a relationship with Amberlynn Reid, evidence has shown that, like, you will have the burden on your shoulders and your soul and your mind to take care of her, to, like, be a caretaker almost.
This might be a little weird for some people. For me, it was a little weird, but I'm grateful for this. Crystal and Destiny are actually friends. They talk, they text, they're friends on Facebook. I think it's kind of neat because it makes things a little easier for me. Do you feel like...
Loki, it's so fucking weird to literally jump from a girlfriend to a friend of that girlfriend. Like, she literally started dating one of Crystal's friends. I feel like that was kind of like a bitchy move as well, just in my opinion.
You moved on too soon after Crystal. No, I do not. I feel like everything happens for a reason. I'm a firm believer in that. I wasn't looking for love. I wasn't looking for someone to, like...
Love just falls into my lap everywhere I go. Everywhere I go, I just get compliments, and love falls into my lap.
Like, hook up with. I wasn't looking for any of that. I purely downloaded the app because I wanted a friend. I wanted someone to talk.
They just fell in love with me so fast, and I was just so, like, hot and attractive and, like, totally, like, against the stereotype that, like, fat people can't find love. Like, again, you see what I'm saying? Like, it seems like she's always, like, trying to jump out in front of these stereotypes of, like, oh yeah, you think that, like, you think fat people can never find love and people aren't attracted to fat people, which that's true. Like, there are people out there who are attracted to that. However, again, that's a topic, that's a potential can of worms. But, and this is coming again from a plus size / fat person. It seems like she's trying to jump out in front of it, of like, oh, you think fat people can't find love? Well, this person fell so in love with me so quickly that we're moving in together. So how about that, haters?
Talk to. I feel like love finds you when you least expect it, and I know it's...
You literally went looking for it. You literally went looking for it, though. What did you think, like, what were your intentions? What did you think was going to happen when you went and downloaded these fucking dating apps or these chat roulettes or whatever to start talking to people despite Crystal? Because Crystal was doing it. You knew that you were going on there to find a new girlfriend to rub in Crystal's face for breaking up with you. Like, come on, be so fucking for real, Amberlynn.
So weird. I don't expect anyone to understand this. I don't think this would have happened with anybody else. Destiny just... I don't know. It's such a weird feeling. She just, like, came in, swooped me up, and bam. Like, and I did the same for her, and... I need to...
Literally, again, reading from the script. Reading from the new girlfriend script. They were amazing. They just came in and swept me off my feet. It was just... The connection was so strong so fast, and I think it's because it's destiny. Like, no pun intended. Like, you know, love finds you when you're not looking for it, and you're not expecting it, and it was just so powerful. It was like the universe just wanted us to be together. Okay, girl. Okay.
Admit, it feels really good, and
somebody burn her fucking cue cards, please. Like, burn the cue cards.
I really believe this has happened for a reason. What does Crystal think of you being with someone else? She's happy for me. She's sad, though.
Of course she's happy for you, because now she doesn't have to worry about your wrath anymore and your victimization bullshit. I'm just saying. Like, I'm just being so honest.
There's just a lot of emotions around the whole situation. Are you moving in with your new girlfriend? Yes.
Yes,
she's not
I knew it. Ding, ding, ding. I win.
Girlfriend yet, though, but she will be. Well,
the snarky face. The fucking dude, like, attitude, now walk off. Like, that's literally Amberlynn. Like, it's the fucking, like, people keep calling it the duper's delight. I don't think that really applies, like, correctly to this situation, but, like, whenever she feels like she's, like, fucking got him, like, she always does that face. Like, let's go back.
Though, there's just a lot of emotions around the whole situation. Are you moving in with your new girlfriend?
Yes, actually.
She's not my girlfriend yet, though, but she will be.
Got him. Got the haters. You think that fat people can't find love? Well, we're moving in together, bitch. Like, clap back. It's the clap back face. Like, that's what it is. It's the clap back, the mic drop face. Like, I'm dead. I'm so dead. Actually, let's go back again because I need a
Yes,
screenshot.
she's not my girlfriend yet, though, but she will be. Vlog.
Oh my god, I hope I got that. I hope I got that. That face. So this is Amber and Destiny.
I'm gonna edit this. Oh yeah, flip that hair. I'm just literally filming.
Proof! Proof or it didn't happen. That's what this is right now. That's what this literally is right now. Like, proof you got a girlfriend or it didn't happen. Like, proof y'all are in love or it didn't fucking happen. You know what I mean? You know what it makes me think of? It makes me think of, like, back in the MySpace days, whenever the, like, scene queens had to, like, take that photo with, like, their MySpace ID number on their hand, and they're like, this is me. This is the only me. This is proof. It's proof that this is who I am. Destiny is, like, the ID number on the hand.
January 13th, ironically enough, it was actually Friday.
That's Orlando Bloom's birthday, if anybody cares to know. I might have had a fucking hyperfixation on Orlando Bloom from the age of like 12 to 15.
Friday the 13th. Destiny broke up with me.
Actually, it would be like 10 to 15 because I saw Lord of the Rings for the first time when I was 10 years old. I got Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter at the same year. It was wild. What a wild time to be alive.
Since then, I have filmed videos. I've put on fake smiles. I have cried every single time.
Victim, 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 victim. Feel bad for me. Feel bad for me.
Time I shut off the camera. I have screamed.
Every time I shut off the camera, I cry because I don't cry on camera, you guys. I don't cry on camera for attention. I only cry when the camera's off, except I'm literally crying in this video, so.
And in my pillows, I have questioned if I am worth anything.
First of all, bitch, like, you shouldn't, I don't mean bitch in a malicious way, like, you get it. Like, first of all, this is just some advice, like, you should never put the value of yourself as a human being on the shoulders of another person. You shouldn't do it for yourself, and you shouldn't do it to them. You know what I mean? Like, I don't necessarily believe in, like, you know, if you don't love yourself, how the hell are you gonna love anybody else? Or, like, if you don't love yourself, how can anybody else love you? Like, I don't necessarily believe in that because I do believe that you can find love even when you're struggling with loving yourself. However, it is not that person's responsibility to make sure that you love yourself. It can't be anybody else's responsibility. You know what I mean? Other people can maybe help you love yourself and help you realize your value. You know what I mean? But, like, it's not their responsibility to make sure that you feel that way. And it's not fair to turn around when you feel like that person has wronged you or they broke up with you or whatever the fuck, to then turn around and be like, I'm worthless and I have no value as a human being because they did this. At least in this situation. Like, obviously there are going to be situations where, like, maybe something, like, really bad happens that someone else did to you, and, like, it gives you, like trauma, you know, or PTSD or something like that, and that is part of those conditions, to feel like you have no value or to feel like you're worthless or useless or whatever. Been there. But I'm specifically talking about this situation where you put all of your value, of your, like, worth and your self-esteem on the shoulders of a romantic partner. And simply by, you know, being broken up with by them or something of that nature, you just it just means that I'm useless and worthless and disgusting and nobody loves me. Like, that can't be put on the shoulders of someone else to carry. Whether or not, like, I'm not saying that, you're being a burden or whatever. Like, maybe they genuinely might even feel like they're happy to do that for you, but ultimately, like, you do have to find that from within yourself. And you can heal from those types of feelings. I have done this myself. You can heal from those types of feelings, and you can, if you put in the work for yourself and the love for yourself that you deserve, to not let other people have the ability to make you feel that way. You can put in the work and get to a point in your life where other people don't affect how you feel about yourself. Because in my opinion, like, if you are genuinely a good and kind person and you've just been, like, mistreated or victimized by somebody else, truly been victimized by somebody else, you can, if you are truly, like, a good person, you know in your heart and your soul that it didn't have anything to do with you. It didn't have anything to do with you. It genuinely was a them problem. But if you're actually a bad person, or you've got shit to fucking work on and you won't work on it because you think that the whole world is against you, it takes away your ability to be able to see yourself in the mirror in order to do that self-reflection to grow as a person. And we should, as humans, we should always be, we are always growing, even if you don't realize it's happening. Even if your growing has paused temporarily, you will continue to grow. But a huge part of growth as a human is being able to look at yourself in the mirror and self-reflect and realize when you were wrong, realize when you've done something bad, realize that there are ways in which you can better yourself, and then you do them. Otherwise, you will just continue to be the same person who feels like, I keep, like, being, it's what, I didn't do anything wrong. Like, I feel like I'm going around in circles. Like, I didn't do anything wrong. It was them. Well, when it keeps happening to you over and over and over and over again, you do kind of get to a point where it's like, you need to look in the mirror and figure out what is going on here, because you are literally the common denominator in this repeating event in your life. And I genuinely don't mean that to be, like, mean or cruel. I genuinely mean that as, like, from experience, a piece of advice that I would give to somebody in that kind of mental situation.
Destiny accepts me. She still accepts me. But Destiny accepted me at my absolute all-time lowest. She has seen me at my worst. And somehow she still thought I was the most beautiful thing she's ever seen. When you're so down and you're so low, you don't always want to talk about those moments, and sometimes you need to heal from those moments. But you guys met Destiny. You guys have seen that whole journey unfold, and Destiny saved me from a dark, dark place. Like,
personally, again, this could be my own trauma talking. I'm just talking, like, these are just my thoughts and opinions. Yes, it is true that, like, you will have people in your life who were there for you in your darkest times and help you get through them. But when you get to a point where as much as, like, some of the ALR vets know, and the things that we've seen and heard, like, evidence of from her mouth or from people that were close to the situation, you start to realize that this is one of those things, an example of one of those things that ALR will say to kind of, like, again, to kind of just, like, victimize herself. You know what I mean? Like, we were so close that they helped me through the darkest days, and, like, they did this to me. Like, they hurt me. Like, we were so close, and like, what happened? And I don't know. They got me through one of the darkest times of my life. I just feel like it's kind of like a little bit of a love bombing thing, but again, like that could just be like my own conspiracy mind going off on its own little journey. But whatever. Let me know what you think.
She is. I'm like shaking. I don't want to cry.
I don't want to cry, but I'm gonna cry right now on camera and not cut it out.
She is one of the most amazing people. You don't have to be in a relationship with her to know that. You don't have to be a family member to know that. I am literally a mess, but this is everyone. Just, I am getting an abundance amount of people just upset with me. They're like, why is Destiny's, oh my god, this is ridiculous. Why is Destiny's Facebook say that she's single? Why aren't you on her profile picture? Like, what is happening? Like, why are you doing this to us? And I really didn't feel like I was doing anything to you guys. Her breaking up with me has done damage to my heart. It's completely broken. And I didn't want to make this video. Like, the most craziest concepts of the world is the fact that you as a person can have your whole future planned out, your whole just everything so planned out, and you think you have everything going for you, and someone can just kind of rip that away from you and completely take that from you. And I feel like that's what Destiny did. We had so much planned. We do still live together. We don't want to lose each other in the sense of like being friends and stuff. And we're even still sharing the same bed. I know a lot of you are going to be like, what? It's very much an attachment.
This is another thing that I've noticed that Amberlynn Reid does a lot, is that like she moves so quickly that like within 6 months or a year into a relationship, like she's already thinking that like we're gonna get married and be together forever. And I do know that there are people out there who are like, well, my partner and I only dated for a year and then we got married and we're happy. And again, like that's an exception to the rule, but that doesn't always happen. That's actually, as far as I know, it's way more uncommon than it is common. You know what I mean? But like this just kind of for me plays into the like experience that I have seen, that Amberlynn, she dives in headfirst so fast, so deep, and she knows that like she wants to like sink her claws in as deeply and as quickly as possible and cling to her partner because she doesn't want to be alone. She doesn't want to be seen as the stereotype of like the fat girl who can't find love. She wants to throw it in people's faces that she can find love. Not only that, there's also the fact that like she doesn't drive, she doesn't have a car, she's apparently terrified of driving, and she needs somebody who can like cart her around all over the place to the restaurants and the Walmart and the Target and all of that stuff. Like she needs someone to taxi her around, she needs someone to give her love and attention and make her feel like she's important and that her life has meaning and she's not just the stereotype of like the sad fat girl that nobody is attracted to. Been there. I know the feeling, but it's not healthy. It's not healthy to set yourself up when you don't know what's going to happen. You know what I mean? Like, I think at some point in a relationship, you might know that, yeah, I'm going to be with this person for a really long time, but like, I thought that about my last relationship. You know what I mean? Like, you don't know. You don't always know. And that just might be me. Like, that just might be, like, me and a handful of other people that feel like a year is not long enough to, like, really start, like, making plans like that. Because I feel like even a year into a relationship, like, you're just kind of out of the honeymoon phase. Like, it's based on opinion, like, how long you think the honeymoon phase lasts. But for me, I think it can last anywhere from 6 months to 2 years. you know, where you're putting your best foot forward and, you know, you're still getting to know each other and da da da. My last relationship, we were together for almost 4 years, and I'm still finding new things out about them to this day, because we actually have stayed friends. But, like, I'm still finding new things out about them to this day. So, you know what I mean? Like, you just, I feel like it's, like, potentially setting yourself up for heartbreak to make plans for the far future so quickly.
Thing, I feel like I'm honestly not gonna be able to sleep alone. I just feel my anxiety and my depression is through the absolute roof. I'm hurt. I just feel like
this exact type of breakup is actually jokingly referred to as the lesbian breakup, where, like, y'all break up but y'all still live in the apartment together and y'all still sleep in the same bed in the same room and share all the same things and, you know, whatever, like, y'all are still, like, sharing everything and living under the same roof and, like, sleeping in the same bed together and maybe still even, like, boinking. You know what I mean? Like, they jokingly will call that a lesbian breakup. I just found that out recently on TikTok. Like, apparently that's a thing. And I'm like, oh, I didn't even know about that. That's kind of hilarious, though, because I know exactly what you're talking about. And it's not exclusive to lesbians.
I wish I can turn back time and just fix everything. I am so in love with her still. And I want her to know that, like, I've told her that I will never give up. I will never give up on her. I will try everything in my power to fix whatever is going on with her, and I will be there for her.
To fix whatever is going on with her. I will do whatever is in my power to fix whatever is going on with her. And to me, that just sounds like I'm gonna do my best to pretend like I'm fixing the things that made you want to break up with me so that you will get back in a relationship with me, because I've changed. I've changed, see? I fixed all of the things that were wrong with you. I fixed all of the things that you were upset with me about, but she's not going to say for 1 second that, like, I want to fix all of the things that I've done or right the wrongs that I've done to Destiny. She's saying, I'm going to put all of my power into fixing the things that are wrong with her and not give up hope on her, aka us.
And some of you were like, some of you knew that we broke up. And a lot of you were saying that I was doing this for attention. This is not attention. No, it's not. This is one of the most painful things I've had to go through, because Destiny is my everything, and she
literally says about every one of her girlfriends, spoiler alert,
the most incredible person in the world.
She also always says this about every single one of her girlfriends, spoiler alert.
And one of the best things that has ever happened to me.
She also says this about all of her girlfriends, spoiler alert,
was being hers. It was
Tommy's girl. That's more up-to-date current stuff. We'll get into that. But for those of you who are vets, you know, Tommy's girl being hers.
Being her girlfriend. And, you know, I don't really know what to say.
On Saturday, okay, I don't know if you guys know this, but I have a girlfriend. I haven't mentioned it in a YouTube.
So now we are going into the Becky area. So just so that we've kept up, right? Little quiz. So first there was Casey. Allegedly there was a page before Casey, but there's literally no history, no lore written about it in the tomes. So there was Casey, and then there was Crystal, kind of overlapping Casey potentially. And then there was Destiny, who was friends with Crystal before at the time. And now we are jumping into Becky, the Becky era.
2 videos.
Which is kind of like one of like the eras. Becky was like one of like the girlfriends of the lore.
I don't think. Maybe I have. I don't even know. But I have mentioned it on You Now. I do have a girlfriend, and I'm going to be meeting some of her family on Saturday, and I'm, like, super nervous. Today's Friday, so that's tomorrow.
She's literally just now announcing, like, publicly and openly, like, matter-of-factly, that she's in a relationship with another girl, and she's, like, already talking about meeting their family. Again, this just might be me. Tell me if this is just me, or, like, if you feel the same way, but I didn't even meet my ex's family until we were dating for, like, 3 or 4 months. And I feel like even then that was kind of early.
I'm gonna be meeting some of her family. I'm like super nervous, and then she's gonna come over and she's gonna stay the night. We're gonna have, you know, just hang out. I know a lot of people are gonna be like, Amberlynn, can we see her? Can we meet her? When can we meet her? When? We're kind of keep it like private for now. I know there's a lot of room.
I'm gonna dangle the there's a new cast member carrot in front of your face, but I'm not gonna actually feed it to you.
We're speculating around like who is she and all that stuff, but I'm sure eventually you guys will meet her because YouTube is my job and she understands that and gets that. By the way, her name is Becky. If you guys want to know, that's my girlfriend's name. Pretty soon there will be more people in my videos, aka Becky. Eventually.
It makes me think of that TikTok sound that's like
It will happen. It's just I don't want to like put the camera in her face.
Oh, but you had no problem shoving the camera in Crystal's face all the time, even though she told you over and over again that it made her really uncomfortable to be on camera. And then you would literally take, like, sneaky footage of her, trying to, like, hide the camera so that you could get footage of her. And then every time she would see that you were filming her, she would get really visibly uncomfortable on camera, and then you would laugh and joke about it.
This is her. I'm filming.
No, you're not.
Yeah, it's going.
But
7 seconds.
It's not gonna be a video.
Again, proof for it didn't happen. You see what I'm saying?
What is with my hair?
I don't know.
Oh. Hello, everyone.
Sorry.
Here comes the breakup video. Well, it was technically a live stream.
I'm sorry.
The way that, like, she literally started the live stream when she was still crying. But I don't want to cry on video. I'm not crying for attention. Oh my god, I'm in the middle of crocodile tears. Let's start a live stream to talk about how Becky broke up with me. That was such a huge explosion of Duper's Delight just then. That was Duper's Delight. That was, oh my god, I'm totally pulling it off, that I'm so in pain and devastated and that I've been hurt, that I've been wronged. Oh my god, these tears are so good. Somebody give me an Oscar. Because you see how she literally went right back into the, she was crying, then she bursted out laughing, then went straight back into, like, look at her literally looking in the camera, making sure that it's visible that she's crying. Making sure that everybody can see. Can they see? Can they see? Okay, good. We're in frame. Are we in frame? Oh, I'm so sad. Dainty girl, little eye rub.
I'm sorry.
Duper's Delight laugh, straight back into, I'm so victim, Becky's so mean to me.
We have broke up. It happened Sunday. And
Although, I gotta say, one of my favorite things about Gorl World is the poor grammar. It's so English, it's so funny. We have broke up.
it was initiated
It's just so quotable. My foot was just dangling.
by me. But the fact
I'm gonna translate Amberlynn's eyes while this is happening. Hold on. I'm gonna be Amberlynn's facial translator. Okay, ready? Okay, we've done through this. Let me make sure I'm in frame. We're in frame. We're good.
Up.
Okay. Yep, we've broken up. Just wait. What she really means to say is, she broke up with me. You guys don't even know what's about to happen.
it happened Sunday.
Just you
And
guys wait.
It was initiated by me.
Yep. That face literally says, yep, told you guys, you didn't even fucking know what was about to happen. Whoop, mic drop. I've been hurt. I'm the victim.
But
You guys, she's just so mean to me. Don't you see? Like, she broke up with me. She just ripped my whole world apart.
the fact of the matter is I've had a lot of time to think and reflect, and we just want different things in life.
I want to better myself.
Yeah.
I want to better myself, aka I want to fix all of the things that are wrong with you. I want to fix all the things that are wrong with you so that we can stay together.
But then I feel guilty because it's like, why didn't I do that while I was with you?
Oh, no, oh my god. Not her literally making excuses for not doing anything to better herself. She's literally sitting here saying, I want to better myself so badly. But then I would just feel so guilty thinking, well, if I want to better myself so badly, why didn't I better myself when we were in a relationship? And now, if I try to better myself now that you've broken up with me, it's gonna seem shitty. Like, it's gonna seem unfair. Like, why couldn't I have done that when we were together? And I don't want to do that to you. So, excuses, excuses, excuses.
I know you guys keep bringing up Destiny, but like, yeah, I was hurt then, but this pain is so much worse. Because
she's literally so agitated that people are calling her out in real time for, like, literally rinsing and repeating the Destiny breakup.
like, Becky was literally the one, and I know so many people were like, she doesn't love Becky as much as Destiny. Completely false.
By the way, that was a huge thing that was going on for a while towards the end of this era, was that Amber Lynn and Becky, or not Becky, excuse me, Amber Lynn and Destiny were still, like, friends and would hang out regularly, even while Amber Lynn was in a relationship with Becky, and, like, they would all go out and go on rendezvous together, and people would always comment and, like, make content and edits and stuff about how, like, dude, Amber Lynn is still clearly so in love with Becky, or not with Becky, with Destiny. Amber Lynn is still so clearly in love with Destiny. It's actually uncomfortable to see the way that Amber Lynn is, like, gravitating toward Destiny right in front of Becky's face.
Love Becky way more than I ever loved Destiny. Yeah, so she's leaving. So, literally she's leaving.
What was that? Literally she's leaving, eye roll.
Oh boy, you guys. Becky pinch a loaf. I can't.
Why would you read that comment out loud? Why would you read that comment out loud, Amber Lynn? You could have just ignored that. She went out of her way to read Becky's going to pinch off a loaf. Becky's going to make a poo. She literally went out of her way to read that comment out loud and laugh about it and scoff about it. Like, she just had to say, like, ooh, that'll, like, make Becky seem, like, disgusting. Oh, you poop? Ugh. Like, LOL, yeah, Becky going to pinch off a loaf. Like, that was so tactical, girl. Like, don't even front.
Well, it's just me now, folks.
That face! We're going back. Oh my god!
It's just me now, folks.
It's literally like The Office. You make what you think is a sassy one-liner and then break the fourth wall. Well, it's just you and me now, guys, because Becky fucking dumped me and ripped my whole world apart and hurt me. Now I'm alone again. Look at how she just deflates into a performance.
Well, it's just me now, folks.
And scene. Hold on. No, even better.
Well, it's just me now, folks.
And action.
I'm hurting.
Somebody get this bitch an Oscar. Somebody get this
You
bitch a
guys have
fucking
no
Oscar right
idea,
now.
Like, it's... I mean, I'm sure some of you understand, like... I'm just afraid that I'm never gonna be okay again, you know?
I just want to say, like, I do empathize with that feeling of, like, being devastated and feeling like nothing's gonna ever be okay again. Because when you're stuck in this, like, very black and white thinking mentality, which is something that I also struggle with, like, you put too much of your self-worth and your validation of who you are as a person and your value to, like, in life and in society on the shoulders of another person. That's, like, black and white thinking. Like, if it's not black, it's white. So if they're not in love with me and we're not in a relationship and everything's all hunky-dory, then it's awful and horrible and it will never be okay again. And it is a shitty feeling, like, for sure. But I just feel like she might really feel this way. Like, I'm sure she really genuinely felt this way. But her actions speak otherwise. The things that she says speak otherwise. Her choices speak otherwise. The lies that she tells speak otherwise, in my opinion.
It's just really scary.
Being single and not having a wifey is really scary. Thinking about how the hell am I going to get to Walmart? How am I going to get to Target? How am I going to get taken to the Mexican restaurant? Who's going to take me? Who's going to take me?
No, Becky. Even with Destiny, I knew Destiny had some chick on the side, but that's a whole other story.
Bad mouth, bad mouth, bad mouth. Shaping the narrative. Making it seem like everybody else is shitty and I'm the only one who's nice and I'm being victimized. They're bullying me. Whatever the fuck. Like, they're being mean to me. They're hurting me. They did me wrong.
But, Becky's not like that. Becky, like, when me and her first got together, she was very hard, to, like, have her open up and let her wall down and stuff like that, and, it's gonna be virtually impossible to do that now, but I wish her nothing but the best. And the best is not me, so...
Apparently, the best is not me. So, did you hear how sass?
And the best is not me, so...
Literally the face.
And the best is not me, so...
The way she literally looks off in the direction that Becky walked off. And apparently, the best isn't me. So, like, giving attitude off in Becky's direction. The way she walked off set. Walked off set.
Of course it's not.
Of course it's not me. Why would anybody love me? Feel bad for me. Like, I feel like I'm being so rude right now, but, like, when you know, like, there are people who are probably going to watch this who know what's up. You know, and if you're not, and if you are new to this, which is why I'm doing this content, you will learn that Lynn Reid is a chronic victim. She is always the victim in every single dramatic instance of her life, no matter what. I am always the victim. I'm always the one who gets hurt. It's never my fault. I didn't do anything wrong. Blah, 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 blah. Again, like, that, it's just the truth. It's just the truth. Well, I shouldn't say that. I shouldn't say it's the truth. Because it's my opinion. It's my opinion that Lynn Reid is a chronic victim. No matter what, she never did anything wrong. And if anybody doesn't like her or her girlfriend breaks up with her, it's because they had a problem and it was their problem, not mine. It was their problem.
And it's like, I'm gonna miss her.
And you just know in your head all she's thinking is they broke up with me because I'm fat. Like, tell me I'm wrong. Like, in my opinion. Tell me I'm wrong, though. In her head, she's sitting here thinking right now, they want to find the right one, and obviously it's not me. Of course it's not me. You know that in her mind, she's like, of course it's not me, because I'm fat. That's always, like, her biggest victim statement for every single dramatic moment of her life. When she feels wronged by somebody, she always blames it on being fat. You don't like me because I'm fat. I have haters because I'm fat. There are people who, you know what I mean? Like, anyone who has anything bad to say about her, or anybody who wrongs her in any way, it's always because I'm fat. You're just mean to me because I'm fat.
Family, like, there's just a lot of, like, different aspects to the situation. It's like not just, losing her. I'm losing a lot, and things are just going to be very different. Like, thinking of all the stuff that's happened in the last 365 days, like in the last year. I don't know why I keep saying 365 days, like, that's so weird. It's like next year is gonna be, I'm gonna be looking back at this very moment, and I hope that I can sit there and say, wow, I made it through. But I don't know. Because you guys have seen, I've been going through it.
I've been going through it. I've been going through it.
With my health and my mental. People always make fun of me when I say that. My mental, oh my god. But it's true, like, I don't know, nothing, like, everything just seems so, like, insignificant,
It just seems like Amber Lynn has a really nasty habit of, like, weaponizing her health, which, again, like, she's constantly talking about how, like, you're healthy but you're obese or whatever. It just seems like she's constantly weaponizing her struggles and her mental health problems and her health scares and stuff as, like, weaponization to distract from people wondering, okay, girl, well, where's the other half of the story? Like, what did you do? What did you do wrong? What did you do to them to make them feel this way? You know what I mean? Like, she's, like, using the, like, mental health struggles and the quote-unquote going through it and the health scares as, like, a little cat toy to distract us from wondering, like, I want to hear the other half of the story. You know what I mean? And again, like, I'm not trying to say that people explaining that because of my mental health it causes me to react this way or to do this thing. That's not what I'm saying. That's not the point of what I'm saying. The point is that, like, Amberlynn Reid tends to only pull out the mental health card and the health scare card and the I've been going through it card whenever something bad happens that people would want to know, well, what part did you play in this? Well, it's really messed up for you to ask me that because, like, I've just been going through it and, like, my mental health has been really bad and, like, I've had a health scare recently, so why would you ask me that? Like, why would you do that to me right now when you know I'm going through it? You know, the meme of, like, they have to tell you they ask you how you are and you say that you're not fine, like, that's literally the vibe. Like, this is not Amberlynn Reid saying, like, So I did this, and the reason why it happened is because I do have this mental health struggle that unfortunately does currently cause me to react to this situation in this way, and I have a hard time controlling it, but I am working on it, and I am trying to like better myself. And like I recognize that, that it was me, but it was it's part of my mental illness, and I'm working on it and trying to get better. It's always like, well, I have mental health problems, and I have health scares, and I have health problems, and I've been going through it. So like, you like, if like, you're a hater if you bring that up or like try to ask me about it.
And things that used to like make me happy no longer make me happy.
That's called depression, Amberlyn Reid. Like, I'm very familiar, girl. I empathize with the depression. I do. And I'm not saying that like Amberlyn Reid doesn't have mental health problems, because I think it's very obvious that she does, and that is not a laughing matter, and that's not something to like belittle in any way or try to make it seem smaller than it is, because it is a real problem. Like, it is like dangerous to be riddled with mental illnesses like anxiety and depression, and like, bipolar disorder, and BPD. These are all very serious mental health issues, and they are no laughing matter. But the overlap here is that you have someone who has genuine mental health issues, but they do not have the ability to self-reflect or go down a path to bettering themselves or understanding their selves and their brain better, in order to grow, and in order to like have a stronger, healthier relationship with somebody, by helping them understand the way that your brain operates and how they can help you and how you're helping yourself.
And I know Becky's hurting too, and it's like, the way that she shows it is so different than me. I'm an emotional, like, I'm a crier. Some people don't cry, and to see Becky cry, like when she does cry, which she did on live a couple times, and she did last night, broke my heart. It's like, when she cries, like, I hate seeing it, because that's just like not her, like when her mom died, I think she cried like a handful of times, and that's just like who she is as a person. We're both hurting, but we know that it's the right thing.
Low-key, excuse me, low-key, I do think that it's a little bit weird to bring up Becky's mom's death. That's just my opinion.
Mainly on her end, of course, because if you guys are new to the stream, like, it was her who brought it up first. But if you guys go back and look, I don't share my poetry with you guys obviously anymore, because people are so rude, but I've written sad poetry, because I haven't always felt...
What is it? What's the quote? Rain and petals fall. Eavesdrop. Rain and petals eavesdrop. I say the wrong word. Rain and petals eavesdrop. I say the wrong word.
100% in this relationship, I've been lonely. I have felt lonely. I have felt alone. I haven't felt 100% happy myself, and we still love each other very much, and that's not ever gonna change. And it's weird because, like, as friends and as like a company with one another, like our presence with one another, like, we're great. But then when it's like relationship, that's where it's like we needed to just cut it off.
I do know exactly what she's talking about. I feel like what she's saying is that, like, it's easier to like, it's specifically with Becky, she's talking about like, it's easier for us to have a relationship as friends than to have a relationship romantically. And I do actually hella understand that feeling, but I want to be so real right now. I have experienced this exact feeling with an ex of mine. I feel like we are way better off as friends than we were in a relationship. And I'm telling you right now, the reason why I felt that way was because um not being in an actual like romantic official relationship with each other, I felt such a huge load taken off of my shoulders, because when I was in a relationship with them, I felt like I had to be so responsible for them and like take care of them in so many ways, like, keeping up with appointments and your to-do list and this and that and the other, and reminding you to do things that you need to do for yourself like all the time. And it just gets so overwhelming that you eventually are just like, you are a grown person and I shouldn't have to be like your housekeeper and reminding you to pick up after yourself and do your chores like your mommy, and like like literally having to remind you to like reorder your medication, and when you have doctor's appointments, and like reminding you when you have to go to work and things of that nature. Like, I shouldn't have to be doing all of that stuff for you. So not being in a romantic relationship with you takes that load off of my shoulders, and it makes me feel like I can wash my hands clean of it, and I don't have to worry about how functional your personal life is like via your responsibilities. Like, I no longer have to worry about that. But I love you as a person, and I love being friends with you, and I have so much fun with you as a friend when I don't feel like I have that burden of expectation put on my shoulders to make sure that your personal life, like separate from our relationship as a whole, is on my shoulders. I don't have to carry that burden. Like, your life is your responsibility, your responsibilities are your responsibility, and I wash my hands clean of it. And I can't help but wonder if this is how Becky felt. And Becky brought it up to Amber Lynn that, like, I think we just function better as friends than as a romantic partner, because Becky wanted to wash her hands of basically being Amber's caretaker, in my opinion. She didn't want to have to do that stuff anymore, and she shouldn't have had to do it in the first place, because Amber Lynn Reid is a grown-ass adult who should be able to take care of herself by herself, like a grown-up. And Becky didn't want to be the caretaker anymore. Becky didn't want to feel like she was an employee in the relationship and had an extreme amount of like expectation that she not only had to take care of herself, but she had to take care of them too, in every aspect.
But
And then, of course, Amber Lynn's going to come back and parrot it and be like, yeah, I think we just function better as friends and not as a relationship, because it makes it sound less like she's really devastated about the whole situation, and it, like, doesn't have anything to do with her as a person.
yeah.
She doesn't have to take any accountability, is what I was going to say.
I'm gonna be saving money, she's gonna be saving money, and we're just gonna have to figure it all out. And I'm gonna have to be uploading more because, someone with a conventional job, if they needed to make more money, they would try to get more hours. And
you can literally do that too, Amber Lynn. Baby, your money is based off of revenue, honey. Viewers, honey. Literally, you can put in more hours too, honey. If you make more videos more than once or twice a week, you would be putting in those quote-unquote extra hours, and you would therefore get paid more. People are gonna watch it. People are gonna watch it.
that's how I'm taking this as, doing more on YouTube, making more content for you guys, whether you like it or dislike it. It's just me putting in more hours, if you will.
Oh, so that's literally what she's saying. She's saying that, like, I'm going to be filming extra content because I need more money for the breakup.
And I feel like it'll also help me, distract myself. But anyways, I actually have to go pee, so yeah. Yes, I'm going to try to vlog.
You better go pee, girl, before you get another kidney infection, girl. Amber Lynn Reid has said in the past that the reason why she has had so many kidney infections is because she will literally hold in her pee for as long as possible, because going to the bathroom when you're that size can be a bit of ordeal, I imagine. So it's one of those things where it's like, oh God, I don't want to go do that until I absolutely have to. No tea, no shade, like just like telling, the reality.
And I guess I want to talk more about in my vlogs, like about just what my plan is and what I'm doing and stuff like that. Thank you guys for listening, and I am gonna get off of here because it's just very sad.
The lives aren't entertaining without Becky, and Becky's no longer here, and I'm exhausted from crying on camera, and yeah, so I'm gonna get the fuck out of here.
I feel like I'm dreaming. Like it's a nightmare.
Go take a nap, baby.
And
You'll be fine.
I keep trying to wake myself up, but it's like not.
I do understand that feeling where you just start to kind of disassociate when something like upsetting or bad happens, and you're just like, oh my God, I just wish this were a dream and I could just wake up out of it. Like, I absolutely can empathize with that feeling.
Like, I'm awake. This is it. This is real.
Yeah, I get that.
If you could change 3 things that were your fault in your relationship with Becky, what would they be? Did you say?
Not her audience trying to get her to hold herself accountable. Like, that's literally an accountability crumb. That's literally a, hey, let me throw this out there and see if you'll actually admit that you did anything wrong.
See the breakup coming. No, I did not see the breakup coming. If I could change 3 things.
I didn't see the breakup coming because I didn't do anything wrong. Why would I have seen a breakup coming when I'm literally perfect?
That were my fault in the relationship.
What am I gonna say to manipulate this narrative to make me seem like I wasn't a problem in the relationship? Look at that face. I literally can't think of anything. I can't think of a single thing.
Twinkie's snoring, by the way. She's having a good ass nap. So if you hear snoring, that's what that is. I literally can't think of anything. I know that sounds bad, but it's just like, I wouldn't change anything. Do you have?
She's literally not gonna say even one thing. Even like a tiny little thing of like, I think I could have done this. I think I could have done that. Like, maybe I could have done more of this or said less of that, or maybe I could have helped out a little more around the apartment. Like, literally not even something small. Like, maybe I could have like helped out around the apartment more, or, maybe I could have, I don't know, anything, like literally anything. Maybe I could have picked my socks up off the floor a little bit more often. Maybe I could have, done the dishes when I said I was going to do them. Like, she literally won't even try to say one thing. And look at that smirk. Look at that smirk that says, oh my God, they're totally going to believe this, that I'm absolutely perfect. And there was literally no reason for Becky to break up with me. Like, she literally only did it because she's mean. Like, what the fuck?
I have a new wifey. No, I mean, no.
And she's literally announcing the new wiper. Like, literally in the same live. Literally, she just got asked an accountability crumb question and then leads into, no, I don't have a girlfriend. What? That's crazy. That's so crazy.
I don't understand what's happening. I don't know. We're just...
Not the fucking little ear tuck, not the, I'm not on camera so you can't see me, but it's literally like the meme of like the little silly, like, I don't know, face, and you're like tucking your hair behind your ear. I know you're picturing exactly what I'm talking about right now, but that's literally the vibe. I don't know.
It's like Friends. If a new person wanted to take you on a date, would you? Obviously. Like, what?
Get ready for this one, you guys. The next installment of Wiper is wild.
Of course I would. Amber's new girl, ask her on a date, do it. They won't. They won't. I'm no longer single.
That is such a breadcrumb. That is such a Hansel and Gretel moment of just like, what? Oh, come on. They would never ask me out on a date. Come on. Like, I could be so lucky. No way. Wink, wink, wink.
Single? Is that tea? I don't know. I'm sure you guys all know because
I'm no longer single.
Oh my God. I put taken on my Instagram. I am taken.
The way that she literally already changed her relationship status on Instagram and then turned around and was like, I don't know. I guess I'm not single anymore. Like, you know that people know that you're in a relationship now because you literally put it on Instagram. And then you're going to still sit here and be all coy and be like, I don't know.
Yeah, we saw the
I guess
Insta.
I'm in
I
a
know.
relationship now.
She asked me to be her girlfriend. I was not expecting it at all.
I wasn't expecting her to pick up every single those. I was not expecting her to pick up every single one of those breadcrumbs that I put out.
Obviously I said yes. Let's be real.
I was not expecting her to fall for my peacocking and my thirst trap TikToks. I was not expecting that. Wow, really?
Yeah, so that's that. That's, I don't know if that's tea. You guys already knew, but I don't have
I mean, it's like cool tea. It's like lukewarm room temperature tea, I guess.
anything for you. When will y'all get to meet in person? September, but she keeps trying to come like sooner, and I'm just
Like, did you already put out the snap with the U-Haul emoji? That's a thing she's done, by the way, recently in the last X.
super
Question mark, X, question mark.
anxious about it. She came yesterday. She really has an internet stranger in her house. No.
This is something that's been said over and over, too. Like, girl, you really let a fucking DM slip-in slider into your home? You gave them your address?
I mean, kinda.
Because the thing is that at this point in her, like, YouTube career, I feel like during, a little bit during Destiny, but definitely during the Becky era, was when a lot of people started flocking to Gorl World, full of intrigue and curiosity. And so it's like, at this point, you can assume that people that are sliding into her DMs know who she is and know that she's like a small YouTube celebrity. Know that she's making a lot of money from her social media. You see where I'm going?
But it's
People who might want to prey upon a potentially vulnerable person in society because they make a lot of money.
not like that. Like I'm sure people do one night stands and they go back to so and so's house, or like you go on a date twice and then invite them over. Like it's like the same thing. Like people meet online all the time. Like it's literally 2021. I trusted her. My gut trusted her. My heart trusted her. My head.
The way she tries to justify everything that are genuine, like, concerns. She's just always trying to justify it. Like, yeah, I let someone who slid into my DMs and I only knew them for 4 weeks take a train or a plane or a car or a tram to my literal exact address and know exactly where I, like, live, knowing that they might know who I am from social media and know that I might have a lot of money that they can potentially manipulate out of me. Yeah, and online dating is so popular. Like, that's how people meet people nowadays. It's not weird for me to let a stranger come visit my house. Like, how am I supposed to, like, get to know them if they don't come see me in person? Like, everybody meets their significant other on the internet nowadays. It's not dangerous. It's normal.
I trusted her. Like, you guys just make it seem so crazy. Will you ever introduce?
You trust easily, Amber. You trust easily. Some might say too easily.
Wifey, if she's okay with it? No. Like, I would love for you guys to see her. Like, yeah, I'm shook.
I think people were speculating in this video that Wifey might have been sitting next to her on the couch, and she, like, keeps kind of, like, looking over at her with the little coy smile, you know?
She's so...
Oh yeah, she's definitely there. So somebody literally asked, when are y'all gonna meet each other? And she's literally there right now. You literally let a stranger in your house.
Baby, come here. Let's show them the real deal.
So notoriously, wifey did not want to like have their face shown on camera. So like all we ever see of wifey is in this scene, and she's wearing a mask, and then we will see like the top of her head and like her arms and stuff like that. But like wifey didn't want to be on camera, and this is kind of sourced as being the beginning of the decline of Amberlynn's viewership, because Amberlynn's significant others have always been like, quite frankly, in my opinion, have always been like the stars of the show. Like Amberlynn Reid is really good at finding a fucking character to date, and they usually are like the main source of entertainment, and Amberlynn Reid's just kind of there, bouncing off of their energy. So not having that side character present in the same kind of way that like Becky and Destiny were, it really started to kind of put Amber's content on the decline, because there really wasn't anything interesting being shown.
This is
Does this make me a furry if I say smash?
Wait.
Not that ugly ass laugh. Not that ugly ass laugh, I'm sorry.
Are we gonna use these from now on? Can we do the girlfriend tags? Feline and I have broken up.
By the way, Feline, wifey, wipey, this was the kind of like the whole thing was that like they got together, and wifey didn't want their name to be exposed. She didn't want people to know who she was. She wanted to maintain that privacy. Like that's what maintaining privacy on the internet actually looks like, Amberlynn Reid, just so you know. So what happened was that there is a lot of very talented sleuths in the Gorl World community, and what happened was that people literally found who this wifey person was, and were like, I know who it is, I think it's this person, their name is this. And like in one of her lives, somebody was like, is Jade wifey? And then she was literally like, oh shit, like you could see it in her eyes. She was like, oh shit, what? No, who the hell is Jade? I don't know who you're talking about. I've never met a Jade in my life. Like, what? No, don't dive into that any further, because that's so inaccurate. That's not even true. Don't even look it up because it's not real. Like, she was freaking the fuck out. So then she literally came on there and was like, so wifey and I broke up, and it's because the sleuths found her fake name or whatever, like an account with a fake name or whatever, correct me if I'm wrong. And then she ended up coming out with Feline, who turned out to be the same person from the Jade breakup, the wifey breakup. And then she literally later admitted that, like, yeah, that was Feline the whole time. Wifey, Jade, whoever else she was calling them, they were all the same person. So just keep that in mind. She has done that in the past, where the girlfriend didn't want to have their identity exposed, and then the sleuths went and found out their identity. And I'm not saying that that's a commendable thing to do. I'm not saying I agree with doing that, but that's what happened. And so they faked a breakup, and then she found a new girl, which was actually the same person.
It was mutual. I literally have cried. Oh, my head hurts so bad. Sorry.
Somehow it was always mutual.
I've done nothing but literally cry.
Like, she says it's mutual because she's trying to take back some of her power, which I can understand that. I can empathize with that.
And cry and cry and cry for the last like 24 hours. This happened literally before fireworks last night. It was mutual, and like, I'm wearing the same thing I was wearing yesterday. Like, I did have makeup. Like, I have cried it all off completely. I can't stop crying. I feel like I'm mourning, like, a death. Like, knowing that one day, like,
They ripped my entire world out from under me. Do you see what I'm saying when I say that, like, she says the same script over and over and over again?
I'm just gonna wake up and she's not there.
She's looking at the cue cards, y'all. When she looks off of camera, that's her looking at the cue cards for the Wifey and I Broke Up script.
It's a different type of pain because, like, I envisioned my whole future with her, and I know she did the same, and this was mutual. There has, like, I'm gonna speak for myself. There has been some things that just, like, I don't have to go into detail. Love just isn't enough sometimes, and
Love isn't enough to make them stay with me, even though I have a lot of problematic behaviors in my relationships that I refuse to fix or work on because I don't have the ability to self-reflect, because I'm a narcissist and a compulsive liar and can't keep my stories straight. Sometimes love just isn't enough for someone to put up with your shit. Sometimes love just isn't enough, mood.
I know what I'm worth.
Sometimes love just isn't enough for someone to want to be your long-term caretaker.
And I know it might not be, like, a lot.
Which, I'm not, like, dogging on people who are in a relationship with someone that they do have to take care of them because of failing health or an ailment or whatever. Like, that's not at all what I'm saying. I'm not, like, generalizing that statement for any type of relationship where one person has to be taken care of by another, because that does often happen with true love, and, you know, you really love someone and care about them and you're gonna take care of them. This is a completely different thing. This is an example of someone who has the ability to help themselves, but they're not doing the things and, like, taking the steps to help themselves because they are still in the stage of their mental illness and their addiction where they're not genuinely willing to change or get help. And when you struggle with addictions, or, like, mental illnesses that have tendencies to comorbid addiction, when you will you will not be able to stop and get yourself out of it and actually help heal yourself until you are true and well done. And unfortunately, sometimes that moment never comes until it's too late or your story has sadly come to a close. And that's just the dark, real reality of being an addict of any kind. And it is really sad. Like, it genuinely is really sad, because I do think that ultimately Amberlynn Reid is a food addict. She has said this herself, she's addicted to food. I do genuinely think that she struggles with disordered eating. I'm trying to be careful how I say that. Things like processes, thought processes, disorders, etc. And I do genuinely think that, like, food addiction is a very real thing. And in my opinion, food addiction is actually one of the most difficult addictions to get yourself out of, because food is not, like, considered a drug in the way that other ones are when you think of somebody being an addict, like other substances. You know what I mean? Because you like rationalize it to yourself. Well, you have to eat to live. And she'll say that a lot. You have to eat to live. I have to eat. So it's an extremely difficult addiction because food is always around. Food is necessary to live. And therefore, if food is a trigger for you, it is so easily accessible in excess. We live in an overconsumption country, and that Amberlynn Reid is a perfect example of that, of the poison of our food with that leads to food addiction, and food is so accessible in such excessive quantities and such junk that this is what happens to you if you get addicted to food in this country.
But I know, like, what I deserve, and I know what I want. I don't know what to say. Like, I know there's probably going to be a lot of people questioning and saying you seem so happy, and yeah, like, the relationship I had with Feline was literally the most passionate relationship I've ever been in, but on both sides of the spectrum.
Again, she says this about every girlfriend she's ever had.
Both sides. She's my best friend, and it's like she wants to help me with this move. I will be moving. She will be moving. We have a timeline of when that's gonna be happening, and I just look around at everything, and it's like I look over in my kitchen and I'm like, that's the first place she kissed me. But then there's also probably...
It just seems like such a guilt trip. Like, is it just me? Somebody tell me, am I mean? It's giving guilt trip. It's giving, I'm gonna tattle on my ex to all of my subscribers and all of my viewers that how much pain I'm in because they hurt me. And I don't know, like, are you hoping your viewers will go attack them or tell them that they're mean or wrong or whatever, and how could you hurt Amber Lynn Reid? She's such an angel. Like, what are you expecting to get out of this? Do you see the smile? The duper's delight. The I'm successfully guilt tripping the fuck out of my ex right now, weaponizing my audience. Tee hee hee. Tee hee hee. Everyone's gonna fall for it. I'm the victim again.
A bad memory in that same spot. You know, it's like not every...
It just seems like an inappropriate time to be smiling.
Thing is perfect behind the scenes. Honestly, it doesn't even matter why we broke up. It's personal, and we both have our own...
To me, that sounds like in order to shape the narrative and victimize myself, I can't talk about the reason why we broke up because it involves me and the things that I have done wrong and the ways that I need to better myself and be a better partner. But I don't want to admit to any of those things, and I don't want anyone to have ammunition to use against me, against my narrative that I'm an angel and I'm perfect and I can never do wrong, or to try to call me out to hold me accountable for my own behavior. So instead, I'm just going to say that it's personal and I'm not going to share it. Here's the carrot, but you don't get to eat it.
Reasons, but she's...
Because I guarantee you, Hunty, I guarantee you that if the reason for the breakup was like in an alternate reality, the reason for this breakup was because Feline fucked up and Feline did something really bad, and it genuinely didn't have anything to do with Amber, she would be spilling the boiling hot tea all over our faces. I'm telling you.
She's my other half of my heart, and I'm the other half of hers.
She has also said this multiple times about multiple breakups. For real, somebody burn the damn cue cards. Somebody come get these goddamn cue cards from her and burn them, please. For all of our sakes.
But we can't be in a relationship. I just need to be single.
There's something I have to tell you guys. So Instagram kind of already knows this because things are revealed over there. But if you guys remember this video, there is someone in my life.
So now we're diving into Valentine. All right, pop quiz. So there was Casey, then Casey overlapped with Crystal, then Destiny overlapped with Crystal because they were friends. And then we, no wait, yeah, and then we went to Becky, and then we dived into Wifey slash Jade, who was then broken up with. Then there was Feline. Then it was admitted that Feline was Wifey slash Jade. And now we're diving into Valentine. Because again, she didn't want to reveal her name.
Life that I
Oh, also everybody thought that Valentine was fake even up till this day.
would say is special in that way.
Not everybody, that's a generalization, but a lot of people to this day still think that Valentine was fake.
I have been friends with this person since September, and we have become really good friends, and like the whole time crushing on each other. We asked each other to be each other's Valentines, so that was like a cute thingy.
And that video was actually filmed days before Valentine's Day actually was. But on Valentine's Day, Valentine asked me to be her girlfriend, and I did say yes, obviously. I've had a girlfriend for over 2 months now, and I've been in a relationship, and I've been happy. And I just didn't want to say anything, like, really in my vlogs yet. I just didn't feel like I needed to. I used to overshare.
I wasn't ready for the sleuths to latch onto that hook.
I used to, like, not have privacy, and it's just...
Girl, be so fucking for real right now. You never had privacy, girl. You never had privacy.
As you get older, your brain works a little differently, and I've just learned sharing too much is not a good thing, especially right.
Sharing too much gives the sleuths too much information to go diving for the things that I won't reveal. Which, again, I am not condoning it. I'm not saying that it's a good thing to do. I'm just saying that that's what happens.
Right now. But I did want to let you guys know that I am in a relationship. That has been a question that you guys have been wondering, so I figured, you know what? Yes, there's no longer single Lynn. So that's all I really want to say for now.
You guys literally stop what you're doing right now. I have the sweetest girlfriend. So she's randomly like, you have a package and you're...
Wait a minute. Oh my god, okay, I'm so sorry. I saw that stuff hanging up in the background, and listen, maybe I just have a dirty mind, but my thought went straight to, are those your toys? Like I was picturing like in a playroom. You know, think like 50 Shades of Grey. I shouldn't say that. But like when they've got all their little toys and implements and tools just like hanging up all over the walls and stuff like that. For like, I saw what looks to be a dog harness for Twinkie, and I thought, oh, bitch, I thought it was like a mask or something worse. And I saw the leash attached, and I was like, oh, bitch, what is that? Like, maybe that's just my dirty mind because I don't have a dog. But then I was like, no, girl, chill the fuck out. That's literally a leash with a harness and a puppy coat and an umbrella, you fucking weirdo.
Package room, and I was like, oh, I do? You guys?
Is this the Lego? Is this the Batman Lego? Okay, so just so you know, one of Amberlynn Reid's hobbies is building Legos. And I know that I'm saying that wrong because that's how she says it. Legos. Lego. Anyways, so this whole thing was that Valentine bought her a very expensive Lego set as a gift. Oh no, this is the... Oh my god, I'll just let you watch.
When I tell you, I wish I would have filmed my reaction. I wish you guys could see this in person. There's like a huge glare. I'm trying to get like a good angle to show you guys. But it says 2/14/24, the moon when we became one. I love you. And it says, babe. Hello, editing Lynn here. I forgot to add in this clip that she's...
And it was hilarious to like believe in the conspiracy theory that Amberlynn was faking Valentine the whole time, and just like imagining that Amberlynn bought herself that plaque for herself as a fake gift from Valentine, and how like hilarious that was.
Someone who personalized this, so she chose the words, and I just think that makes it even...
I find it very interesting that she felt the need to come on here and voice over in her editing that, by the way, I wasn't the one who chose what to write on that plaque. Valentine chose what to write on that plaque. Valentine's the one who purchased it and personalized it and sent it to me. I didn't have anything to do with that. And it's really funny because what ended up happening was that reactors and viewers started speculating that it seemed like the specific words and like way of speaking that was on that plaque was very Amber Lynn Reid coded. Like Amber Lynn Reid coded to call your significant other babe. That's very much her thing. So people were speculating that like Amber Lynn totally wrote this.
Cuter. Oh my god, I'm obsessed. Isn't that the freaking cutest thing you've ever seen? And I wish I could pick it up on camera, but like
you can't deny that it was really weird and random for her to be editing this video and say, oh, I need to make sure that I let everybody know that I'm not the one who came up with the babe, the moon when we became one, I love you. Like, I have to specify that, like, they said that, not me. Like, why? Why did you need to jump out in front of that, Amber? Why did you feel the need to jump out in front of that?
the silver is silvering. It actually looks so
The silver is
pretty in
silvering. I
person.
love this.
Oh my God. I just thought this was the sweetest thing ever, and I was not expecting it. Like, that is literal goals. Oh my god. Babe, thank you. Like, thank you so much, babe. I know you're watching. I love you too.
It does seem pretty performative, doesn't it? Like, I'm sure it's not just me. Like, this whole scene of showing this plaque seems very performative. Like, oh my gosh, what? I was not expecting this. Oh my god, it's literally so sweet. Like, don't I just have the sweetest girlfriend? Like, oh my god, and I know you're watching this, babe. Like, oh, it's so sweet of you.
But I am pretty sad about something, and a lot of you definitely have guessed it. God. I have an easier time admitting when, like, I fucked something up versus, like, the person that I was in love with fucking it up.
She's literally saying that I have no problem admitting when I did something wrong in the relationship, okay? But it's even harder for me to admit when they hurt me. Like, that's literally all you've done. You have gone out of your way in every single one of these breakup sagas to make it seem like you didn't do anything wrong and it was all them hurting you, putting you through pain, ripping your life from under your feet, ripping your heart out of your body while you cry on camera, but you don't want to cry on camera for attention.
So it's like,
She even had on a live stream, she literally even had someone ask her, can you think of anything that you did wrong that might have caused your last breakup or something that you would have wanted to do better? And she literally said, I can't think of anything. But yet she has no problem admitting when she's done something wrong. She's trying to, like, solidify the idea in her viewer's mind that, like, I would admit if I did something wrong. And I don't have anything to admit. So I'm perfect.
I just don't even want to, like, go there, discuss it, talk about it, because it's just, like, a lot. And I don't know, it's just easier to keep things like this off a line, but, like, so many of you have guessed it, and I'm just going to keep hurting privately, and I'm just gonna let it stay that way, because I don't want to sit here and talk about it. I don't. So that's not what's gonna happen on this channel.
I don't want to talk about it, but I do want you to see me crying and see me be in pain about it. But I don't want to talk about it. I just want to make sure that you all know that I'm in pain.
Also, I just want to continue being happy, independent as I can be, and sticking to my weight loss. I just want to be happy and do good for me. As empty as I feel right now, I want to portray myself as someone who feels whole. And sometimes it's easier to fake it till you make it type thing. I just love you guys, and I hope that you guys are having a good day. I think I'm going to do a lot of journaling right now, so I'm gonna do that.
Oh, she's a big journaler, by the way. She's a huge journaler. She writes so much, in fact, that she owns about like 56 journals that have never been used. some of which are literally the exact same journals, just in different colors.
And then I'm gonna doodle. I'm gonna doodle my little fucking heart out.
And she's a doodle bob squarepants. Hoi noi me noi.
Thinking that Valentine trolled me, she was actually a hater, she was this or that. No, that is not true. 1000% genuine in what we...
Oh, I forgot to mention back when we were on the Feline / wifey part of the breakup video, where Feline actually did end up getting a bunch of tattoos that were paid for by Amber not long before they broke up. But again, it's totally safe to meet strangers on the internet who slide into your DMs, who at this point in your YouTube career probably know exactly who you are, and they don't have to dig very far to find out that you have a pretty large following on Facebook, and looking at the numbers of your views, they can probably deduct or deduce that you make a good amount of money on YouTube, and they definitely wouldn't want to exploit you for that. Because it's totally normal to start dating someone as soon as they slide into your DMs. Totally normal. Everybody does it. That's how everybody finds a relationship nowadays.
He had, but again, that was just like a part of the life she was living, whereas she was also living this whole separate life. It's a lot.
Oh yeah, Valentine cheated on her. That was the whole catalyst for the breakup, was that Amber Lynn found out that Valentine was talking to other girls, sliding into other girls' DMs.
Confusing, and I understand that, but even though you guys don't know who Valentine is, I just feel like me as a person, morally, I can't envision myself like sharing this person's like story to you guys. I just can't.
She has no problem sharing people's stories, by the way.
Can't. Like, as much as she hurt me and we didn't work out this and that, like, I still do care about her. So the last thing I journaled about is the girl that I'm talking to. I have a girlfriend. Yes, I do. Her name is Tommy. And
oh my god, I didn't think this video was going to be that up to date. This must have just came out. We are diving right into Tommy, and Tommy is literally from this month. It's July 29th when I'm filming this right now, and this happened this month. This has literally been the topic of Gorl World for the last, 2 or 3 weeks now?
And we are in a long-distance relationship. I want to just
Tommy
share
Slummy.
this side of me. I'm not a secret, and I feel special. I feel loved. I feel important. I feel like a priority. Like,
I find it very strange, given what we know now, which you will also know very soon. I find it very strange that she specifically said, "I am not a secret," because I can't recall her being a secret in any of her other relationships. She specifically chose to say, "I am not a secret." Interesting. We'll get into that.
those aren't feelings that I've felt for a very long time. Like, I feel genuinely seen, like, as a person. I know it's like really soon and sudden, like, I understand that, but timelines are not a thing, and you guys know that with me. Like, you can know someone for years and years and not feel super close to them, and then know someone for like a couple days and instantly feel like a super strong connection. And I know there's a lot of people out there who relate to that. Literally just...
She's trying to find a way to justify falling in love so quickly with this girl, like she has done with literally every single one of her girlfriends. Because at this point, so many people have commented and called her out on this, like on any platform, whether it be like content creators or reaction channels or viewers, people in her live streams. Like, she has been called out on this so many times, how, girl, you fall in love way too fast, you get attached way too fast, and you move way too fast. And so I feel like this specific comment of like saying, you know, you can know someone for years and years and years and never have feelings for them, and then you can meet someone and have feelings for them instantaneously. That's like both of those things can exist at the same time.
It's all about energy,
like trying to justify falling in love so quickly. You see what I'm saying? Because people have called her out on it.
Connection, the way someone makes you feel, who they are as a person, and like, it's like when you know type thing. And
there it is again. When you know, you know. When you know, you know. You know?
And I don't want to sit here and talk about my ex or anything like that, but I knew her for almost a year and never remotely felt like this.
like on God, when you were literally saying like they're the other half of my heart and they're just the most beautiful person I've ever met, and when you know like you when the heart wants what it wants, and you know, they've just never made me feel so secure, and I never felt this way about anybody else. Like, bitch, excuse me, you have literally said this about every single relationship.
So that's how I know, like, timelines are.
As soon as she jumps to a new girlfriend, all of a sudden, that's when she starts telling the tea, dropping the deets, giving the story times behind the curtains of all of her of her ex, of her current ex, when she would literally say when they were first broken up, like, I'm not going to spill their tea on the internet. But the asterisk there is until I get a new girlfriend, and then I'm going to talk mad shit.
A load of crap. There are such beautiful stories of people who like literally get married within a week of knowing each other and they stay together.
Again, trying to justify. She made this justification so many times, trying to justify why it's acceptable and normal to fall in love with somebody so quickly. Like, there are people who only dated for a month and then they got married and they've been together for 10 years.
Together for 30 years plus. But then there's people who knew each other for 10 years, get married, and then they're only together for a year. It's just like, what? It like, just goes to show that, like, it's really just not...
It is a full-time job for Lynn Reid to justify falling in love and moving someone in within 6 months. Girl.
Thing. And I'm over here just trying to make, like, rationalizations with you guys, because I feel like so many of you are going to be like, Lynn, what are you doing? But that's okay. This is my life. This is my story. This is just, you guys, I feel thoroughly so happy right now. We will be meeting in person literally before this month is even over. Like, plane ticket bought, like, all planned out, and I am thoroughly so excited. Like,
she literally flew this Instagram DM girlfriend to come to her address and spend 4 days with her after knowing her for literally 1 month. The vlog that she makes about I'm meeting my girlfriend for the first time, she literally says, like, the night before, that today we have known each other exactly 1 month. But it's not crazy. It's not dangerous. There are people who only knew each other for a month and then they got married and they've been together for 30 years. Like, when you know, you know. You know?
In the past, like, I see red flags in relationships. I have red flags. People have red flags. It's a thing. But when I would see the red flags,
I have red flags. I'm not going to tell you what any of them are, but I have red flags, sure. Everybody has red flags. Nobody's perfect, but I'm perfect, but I'm not perfect.
Would admit, like, oh, that is hardcore red flag, or oh, that's triggering my BPD, or oh, wow, this relationship is making my mental illness actually worse. Like, I see these things, and it's like I get so like delusional in relationships where it's like I'm able to talk about these red flags and see them and whatever, but like I make excuses for them. With this relationship,
you're literally doing that right now.
I haven't seen a red flag. And I'm over here like, is that a red flag? That there is no red flags? See, that's just...
Yes.
It's me, like, wanting to self-sabotage, pretty much. Because I'm not used to something
that's called instinct, and you should listen to it more.
It feels so, like, calm. Like a soft love. And I strictly remember a couple months ago, writing in my journal, saying how bad I craved, like, a soft, gentle love. And it's something that, like...
If you say you manifested this relationship, I'm literally disconnecting myself from the internet right now.
I haven't gotten to experience because it just seems like every relationship I've been in has just been so toxic.
Shut up. You're so for real right now, dude. You're so for real right now. You know what it makes me think of? She's like, my relationships have been so toxic. It reminds me of that meme of Sharon and Ozzy Osbourne when Ozzy comes out of his room and he's like, somebody's been stealing my beers from my room. And Sharon's like, I don't think so, darling. I don't think so. Who's the beer thief? You. You're the beer thief. And in this scenario, Lynn is Ozzy, and we are Sharon, and we're like, who's the toxic one? You! You're the toxic one.
I'm not just blaming it on the other person, I'm also blaming it on myself, because when I get into a relationship, my BPD is like set off. You know, a lot of people suffer with that, like when they're in a relationship, like it's...
I can't remember if this is pre or post BPD diagnosis, or if she ever actually got diagnosed with BPD, because she has on many occasions over her YouTube career self-claimed mental illnesses, and then would say that, just kidding, my therapist says I don't have that mental illness, just kidding, my therapist says I do have that mental illness. And I'm not saying that like self-diagnosis isn't valid in some situations, because I do think that people out there have correctly self-diagnosed themselves with something, but it also can be dangerous for people who actually do struggle with mental illness.
It's just so much worse. And it's like, I can sit here and say
like like it doesn't help like the perception of and stereotypes of mental illnesses. I don't know if that makes any sense.
I don't know why that is, but like realistically I do, because I've literally talked to a therapist about it. My BPD is absolutely triggered when I feel like someone's lying to me, or hiding something from me, or they're like whole energy shifts, or when I feel like I'm gonna be abandoned for like no reason, just like so many different things. And it's like, I'm super like intuitive. At a young age, I had to very much like pay attention to my surroundings. So as an adult, I still do that. And
I do also genuinely believe that Lynn Reid does suffer with all of those struggles. I think that she does suffer from feeling like triggered that people lie to her. However, she is also a pathological liar. I think that that's one of those situations where it's like, if someone's accusing you of doing something over and over and over again, then it's probably because they're doing it themselves. So particularly with the whole like I get triggered when people lie to me thing, I think that's because she knows that she herself is a pathological liar, and that if it's so easy for her to lie like that, then it would be easy for anybody to lie like that.
and sometimes
But I do think that she genuinely does suffer from feeling like paranoid about being abandoned and left and broken up with and all of that stuff. The problem is that, again, she's not willing or able to like actually self-reflect and figure out like if she was a part of the problem, or if she was the problem, or if there were just things that she did that were problematic, and how can she grow and like help herself to be a better partner and like friend or whatever person in the future. She doesn't do that part. She can't do that part.
sometimes I hate that like I notice every tiny little thing, and like then my BPD gets triggered and like blah blah blah. And
I really hope that this was a point in time when she actually got triggered with she actually got diagnosed with BPD, because BPD is actually a really serious and scary like mental health issue, and low-key I'd be kind of annoyed if she's sitting here throwing around the term BPD when she doesn't actually have it.
actually found coping
So if you know if she actually got diagnosed with this, like actually let me know.
mechanisms, and I'm able to be self-aware and in tune with myself when I realize
She's literally not able to do any of those things. And I guarantee you that the reason why she is saying that is because she's probably had people in her comment sections and stuff straight up call her out and be like, Lynn, you lack any ability of like intuity or being able to look in the mirror and self-reflect on yourself and your behaviors and your actions and things like that. Like, you clearly don't have the ability to do that, and you really need to look in the mirror and figure out why you're the common denominator every time that this happens to you. So now she knows that, okay, I have to tell people that I have the ability to be intuitive and look into myself and self-reflect and like figure out when I need to like hold myself accountable. But she doesn't actually do that. She just took all of those buzzwords and she's formulating them into her narrative.
Lynn, like the reality versus like what you're seeing with like what I like to say part of my BPD brain, those two things are completely separate and different. And it took me a long time to like get to that point, because like once
I'm genuinely getting so frustrated thinking that she's throwing around the term BPD when she doesn't actually have it. Like, I'm actually getting so frustrated.
I was diagnosed and like I understood myself, I was able to find that like rational side of me, and like I'm not perfect, I never will be, and I know neither will anybody else. And that's very much why like I have been in these relationships where my BPD, I get triggered, then my partner gets triggered, and it's just like a constant like battle between the two. And I have found that like in this current relationship, like I haven't had that. Like my mental health has improved since I've even just started talking to her. Like it was like an instant connection. I know a lot of people like to like talk badly about long distance relationships, but it's 2024. It's what people do.
She also throws out the word triggered way too often for my liking personally, because I feel like this is another example of Amber Lynn trying to like weaponize her mental illness to get away with bad behavior. Unfortunately, like there are people who have mental illnesses that do that to manipulate people, like, you know, and it just makes it really difficult for people who actually have mental illnesses that cause them to behave in a certain way, who actually are trying to like understand themselves and better themselves, and they don't use it as a like manipulation to get away with bad behavior. They use it as an explanation and then to let you know that they're trying to work on it. Do you see how those two things are different, and how Amber Lynn seems to be doing the former? Like she just says, well, I got triggered, so it is what it is. Like I can't help. Excuse me. Like I can't help that.
There's so many different ways of meeting people, and there's a lot of like successful long distance relationships that do
Justification,
happen. There's a lot of ones that fail as
Amber
well,
Lynn
but that
Reid,
goes for
your word is
also
justification.
people that you meet at the grocery store or at a bar or whatever it may be. Like there's failed relationships and successful relationships. And any way that you meet somebody is a long distance relationship something I always want to be in? No. We both thoroughly see each other together for a very long time, and she's genuinely really, really special to me. I cannot wait to meet her in person. Like we're gonna have so much fun together. And so yeah, I'm really excited. I have to share this with you guys. And I know like this is crazy and probably coming out of nowhere. It's like the universe is like, we got you, Amberlynn. We got you, Tommy. Like, you guys are about to be happy together.
Tommy
and, like, we really are. And it's like we're so similar in the way that we
also, low-key, Tommy is the name of my grandfather on my mom's side. And we don't call him, like, grandpa. We call him Tommy. Like, even when I was, like, a kid. Because he's basically been around my whole life. It was always Tommy. We call him Tommy. So this whole Tommy arc has just had me in orbit, because every time they mention Tommy I think of my grandfather, and I'm like, no, different Tommy.
Love, and I have so like strongly just wanted that in my life. The way that I love someone, I want to be loved in that way as well. And it's like I finally found it, because it's like I give so much of myself, I give my all, and I'm such a romantic, and I'm super mushy gushy and sweet, and it's like she's the same way, and it's like, oh my god, I'm like
again, like it just seems like she's trying to get out in front of something. Like she's trying to sit here and say like, I'm so romantic and gentle and like gushy and sweet and just so kind and giving and nurturing. That's who I am in a relationship. So there's like, I don't see anything, any fault in that, or anything that would make me be responsible for any of my exes, all of my exes that have broken up with me.
It's just wonderful.
So yeah, that is pretty much gonna get you completely caught up on all of Amber Lynn Reid's relationships up to this point. So just for a recap, we had Paige before Casey, but there's no footage or evidence or any chapters written on Paige. Went into Casey. Then there was Crystal, who overlapped with Casey. And then there was Destiny, who overlapped with Crystal, because Crystal and Destiny were friends. And then after Destiny was Becky. And then after Becky was Wifey / Jade, who was then written out of the show, but then that turned out to be a lie, because then the next girlfriend was Feline, who was also Jade slash wifey, and Amberlynn came out and admitted that all of those names of that people were throwing around were all the same person, and that she did lie that they broke up initially to take the heat off of sleuths trying to figure out the identity of her girlfriend when she didn't want to be known. And then we went from Feline into Tommy. Now, I'm going to do a separate video for you guys getting more into the lore of Tommy at some point, because I want to go into more individual deep dives into each relationship. This was just a little TLDR of all of the main side characters that we have gotten in Gorl World. And all of these main side characters have played like a huge part in the lore of Amberlynn Reid. So now you're all caught up. Whenever girlfriends are talked about, aside from Casey, you will now know who they are talking about. Alright, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this very first installment of Amberlynn Reid for Dummies deep dive into Gorl World, and we will be picking back up on this very, very soon. I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you enjoyed it, please feel free to subscribe. It's a free and easy way that you can support me and my channel and my content creation. I also do gaming streams on Twitch, but I will probably also do them here on YouTube if you want to see that. I play all kinds of games. I play cozy games, I play horror games, I play first-person shooters, I play RPGs, all kinds of games, nostalgic games, anything. I play everything. So if you're interested in any of that, like maybe consider giving me a subscribe. That was so annoying, Nikki. Don't ever do that again. Anyways, I'm also an artist. I have a Redbubble account, which you've actually been seeing a slideshow of sticker designs that are currently live on my Redbubble right now, right here next to me to my left. So if you're interested in getting yourself any of those sticker designs, you can pop on over to Redbubble. I would really, really appreciate it. I am regularly updating my Redbubble. If you have any fan art suggestions that you would like me to make, just let me know. I'm always down to suggestions. I do also have open commissions. If you want any information about that, just leave a comment below and we will chat. That being said, I'm gonna go ahead and get out of here. Oh, I also have a Twitter. You can find my Twitter in my bio. You can find my Twitch in my bio. You can find my Redbubble in my bio. You can find my Discord for my community in my bio. Oh my goodness. Okay. For real this time, we're going to be getting out of here. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today, and I will see all of you again real soon for another episode. Bye!